Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our exhibit and comment night. It is May the 18th, 2023. And I want to welcome, we have a couple of guests tonight. And let's see, one is Jack's friend, recent friend, Gary Messinanetti.
There you go.
Welcome. And Gary, what kind of, we know you're a Fuji guy, but what kind of photography do you do?
Mostly birds and wildlife.
Okay.
Of course, I do family pictures and things like that too, the kids and grandkids and all that.
Sounds like all of us. And Lynn is over there playing in her Lynn's iPad. She's a guest as well. I want to welcome her. Lynn, what kind of photography do you do?
Oh, pretty much everything. But mainly landscapes and and animals.
Okay, you're located in the Tampa area?
Yeah, Pinellas Park, just
okay. And Gary, where you live?
I live in Carrollwood Village in
north
here.
Okay, so in this area, we do have a few people from other states. For next year, we have somebody. Doris is from in Ohio, and Alan is and Valerie is from California, and Nona, if she's here, she's in Colorado. So yeah, we have a few members. Diana Cahill lives up north somewhere. I can't remember where. Yeah. So yeah, we have quite a few people from out of state is here as well. So want to go ahead and get started with the first thing I'm going to do is we had the outing 2 weeks ago, I think it was, to the sunflower field. And we had about 17 people come, which was awesome. We went out and most of us went out and had breakfast at Cracker Barrel, and that was fun because they put us all on sort of two tables that they stuck together, and it was kind of fun to have everybody there. And we got through breakfast in a fairly relatively short amount of time, believe it or not, with 14 of us there. So, but anyway, I'm going to play I'm going to share my screen and play the quick video that I made from the pictures that everybody sent me. Advanced video. Yeah. 1 second here while I bring it up. Desktop. Yeah, I had it all set up and now it's not working right. Okay, hold on. Quick. Here we go. Sunflower. Oh, shoot, I've got 2 of them. I have 3 of them in here. Which was the right one? Well, we'll play that one. Hopefully it's the right one. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, I'm going to play it. Now the sound's not working. Oh, well, just look at the pictures.
Yeah, that's good. It looks beautiful.
I promise when I put it on the website, it'll have music.
We could hum.
Yeah. Like a bee. I don't want to, I could fuss with it, but we don't have time for me to fuss. So
Yeah.
You can guys.
No, this is great. This is great.
Watch it on the website with music on it.
Saw Jim's too. That was nice.
Yeah, Jim had a great one. If you haven't seen Jim's, go on there and take a look at it as well.
Yeah, Jim's video was very good. Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, he did it with the drone and with his video camera and with a still. So it's a little bit of everything.
Oh, nice.
Yep, he flew over the field. Go ahead and make the announcements while we're watching this. Probably the best thing to do here. Don't forget your June assignments. The June assignment is environmental portrait. And if you haven't, or you need to get a review, go on to the website. And if you go to the meeting videos, the educational night with that information is, the environmental portrait information is on the website. So go there and review that. Our education night is next week for this month, and it's Joshua Cripps, who is a wonderful young landscape photographer. He does stuff all over the world, and he's going to be talking to us about telephoto landscapes, which is one of our assignments later this year. So he's a good guy. I've had him as an instructor at one of the workshops that I went to, and he's a really nice guy as well. So I think you'll enjoy him. He's also one of the expert on photo pills. If you don't know what that is, that's that app that shows you where the sun is setting and the moon is rising and the Milky Way is and all that stuff. So I might bring him back and have a session on photo pills with him next year.
That'd be nice.
Yep. Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah. Photo pills is awesome. He's done some weird. In fact, when we're done here, I'll show you what it's almost done. I'll show you the his website and show you the picture that he's actually famous for. Almost done. Almost done. Here's Robert. That is it. That's it. All right, guys, let me show you Joshua's.
Those are nice. A lot of different ideas.
Yep.
We missed having you, Victoria.
I missed being there. You just don't know. I kept thinking, sure, there's a sunflower field somewhere around here, but I never found one.
Well, you have the bluebells, so you got something different. Can you see this website, guys?
Yeah.
This image right here, Ring of Fire, is what he's done with, and he used photo pills to figure out when the eclipse was going to be happening. And this is in, I don't know, Dubai or somewhere. I think it's Dubai. And he spent a fortune getting the camel guys and the camels. Yeah, he has a really good story. Hopefully we can, if he comes in early next week, we can get him to tell us a story about doing this picture. But this is the kind of stuff he does. I mean, he goes all over the world and he figures out where the sun is going to rise to get a picture like that, or the moon's going to rise to get a picture like that. I mean, he's like I said, he's one of the young bucks in photography right now. So he's really, there's his picture right there. But yeah, he's going to be here next week. Stop share.
Oh, and Lynn, go back. It's not bluebells, it's blue bonnets.
Oh, bluebells. Yeah, blue bonnets. That's right. Blue bonnets. That's right. Well, I knew it was blue something. Anyway, yes, bluebells in Virginia. Anyway, we're doing stuff. We've had some issues with getting finished. Last month, we actually spent, all of Thursday night, that Thursday night, our regular night for exhibits and comments. And then we spent another 2 hours on the following Thursday because we had the time available because we did the education night on Sunday. It doesn't happen every month. So we're running into an issue with the number of images we're getting, which which is a good thing, but at the same time, we've got to control it so we're not running until 11 o'clock at night because nobody wants to stick around that long. So the board, when we met last week, we had a long, drawn out, very sometimes heated discussion about what to do. We came up with a solution, but when I started looking into it, it doesn't seem like it's going to work. So we're going to have to discuss it some more. But we did prejudge this, and that might be something we're going to have to do in the future. We just got to figure out the best way to do it. So it's been prejudged not only by Robert and Jim, but also by a third judge, which this happens to be me this time. So once we figure out what we're going to do, we'll let you know. We may have to lower the number per person to 2. We're trying to avoid that, but it may be the only solution to the situation because we don't want to be here till 11 o'clock or whenever. Trying to do, because the comments are more important than anything. So just have to let you know what's going on. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into the comments, and I'm going to show the picture. I'm going to tell you the name. I'm going to tell you who it belongs to, and then I'm going to tell you the score, and then we're going to go do the comment right then and there. So that's how it's going to work tonight. And we'll see how much we try to get through as many. We have 77 images to go through. So just let you know that we're going to try to push through them as quickly as we can without, slighting anybody in terms of the comment side of things, because that's
Lynn, for the visitors' benefit, would it be beneficial to let them know what the top score is? What is everybody striving for?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want to get at least a 27. That's considered perfect, which doesn't occur. So basically 27 is the top score, and we're using 3 judges. Robert and Jim are our 2 pros, and then we use the third non-pro judge, and normally it's a member of the one member of the club, but because of this issues we're having, I went ahead and did it myself, which I'm not a pro. I act like one sometimes, but I'm really not.
You are.
I try to be, like I really know what the hell I'm talking about, but I really don't. So anyway, and it is bird night. So they said, you know what? You need to be doing birds. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the birds. Anyway, so once we figure out what the heck we're going to do to make this work better, maybe a little more tonight, we'll know. But we need to get going on it so that we don't waste any more time. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and bring up Lightroom. Where is Lightroom? Where are you, Lightroom? There you are. Oops. That down. That down. And can you see Lightroom now?
Yes.
Yep.
Get this out of the way. And this out of the way. So I can score things. Okay. Robert and Jim, are you ready? And anybody else? We would like, we want everybody to participate. This is another thing that's kind of been falling by because we're trying to hurry. Because we want everybody to at least, don't be afraid to chime in. And if it's your image, for sure, say something or respond. And, if, Robert or Jim,
if you want to,
please respond. So we want to get everybody involved as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Whoops.
Yeah, can we talk about what the category was for assigned?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, it was bird portraiture, which was so for scoring purposes, it was not birds in action or bird behavior. It was bird portraiture. So that's how things were judged. So
right.
Go ahead.
Another one of those lesson times. Read the assignment, please. Okay, this first one is called At Rest. It's altered reality, and it's Doug Halstead's picture, and the score is 24.4. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Robert and Jim, or anybody else.
Actually, I like the altered reality of putting what would be like a studio portrait background behind the bird. In keeping with the assignment of bird portraiture. It worked very well.
Robert?
Agreed.
Right. Yeah, this is really nice for a bird. I mean, the only thing I would have liked to see just a little bit more of the eye because it's a portrait. But other than that, you know, these blue, this is a tricolor heron, and they are pretty fancy when they're in their breeding plumage. So this is actually one in its breeding plumage, and you at least can see the little bit of the red eye there too. So
and it does look like the eye is looking back, like it's, you know, making eye contact, which definitely definitely kept it from losing a point on the eye.
Yeah.
And it is a different pose too that you normally see.
Yeah, it's a very I don't know, modelish pose.
Boy.
All right. Next one is rainbow lorikeet, and this is Jack's image. And the score is 23. This bird is beautiful color. You got a great catch light in the eye. That's one of those things with bird photography. You always want to see a couple of things. If the eye is in focus, that's the main part you want to see in focus. And it's always with any animal or anything that's alive, you want to see a catch light of some kind, because that makes the animal look alive. Okay. My biggest problem with this picture is the cage that it's in. And
busy background.
The background is just so disruptive. Even Jack, if you'd taken and done what Sherry did with Doug's image and got rid of the background and put something else back there, it would have been much better. Yeah,
I agree. It bothered me to a certain extent, but by blurring it as I did and toning it down, I thought it was better. But I was bothered by it too. I agree.
And you'll see the difference in a minute. Okay, I'm just saying that. Robert, Jim, anything?
Nope, absolutely right. And you will see something to compare it to down the line.
The only other thing too, Jack, is I would darken up the tree stump. Limb, because it's the same tone pretty much as the bird, and if it was darker, it would keep your eye on the bird as well.
Yeah.
The other thing.
Yeah. I hear you.
Okay.
Good.
Next one is ibis at night, and this is Sherry Halstead's.
Beautiful image. I'm wondering about that stick, though.
This stick.
That stick.
Yeah, that stick. Yeah, Sherry's here. I would have gotten rid of at least that stick. The green ones you could have left, but I would have gotten rid of that stick that kind of goes like this.
It gives me the impression that it's got a 32-ounce Big Gulp cup hidden down in the branches that it's sucking.
It looks like a straw. Yeah, especially since it's so straight. It almost looks like it's not natural. You know?
I just missed it when I was.
Otherwise, excellent.
Yeah, I like the eyes. I like the contrast between the red face and the blue eye, and it's in focus, so that's great. And then also, I know his feet are down here, and we always want to know that their feet are down here, but we don't really need to see the red part of the feet, so you could just darken that up as well.
I like the texture on the neck, the feathers.
Yeah,
they're definitely a different bird. I mean, they're all in Florida. They're everywhere, so they're very common. But this is a great picture of one of them. So
it's got the overall the image has really strong visual impact, which is nice.
And I didn't say the score, which was 24.4. Okay, next one is Out on a Limb, and this one is also Sherry's, and the score is 20. Oops, I went too far. Went too far. This one is Sherry's, and its score is 25.
Yeah, wonderful light.
Yeah,
the backlight is beautiful on that.
Yeah, it's really hard with a white bird to use backlighting because, obvious it blows it all out, and then you've got to deal with the dark side of the bird. But yeah, she did a good job on this one.
Yeah, this is very well done.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Next one is Burrowing Owl, and that one is Lee's, and the score is 23.9.
We could do without that great big out of focus blob in the lower right section right there. It does, we could crop up from that. we don't need so much of that. A little bit of the out of focus there, but that great big out of focus blob is a distraction. Yes, thank you. Doesn't have to go that high. You can bring it down a little bit, but yeah, because that looks like it would be too close. Yeah, right there. I think that's fine. Much better.
This guy looks a little like he needs a little contrast too. Yeah, just a little contrast. If those of you who have shot these owls, you got to get low to the ground because they're down on the ground and not an easy thing to shoot. And usually it's in the morning when it's pretty bright. That's why the sky is so blown out. But that's typical.
Would it have been helpful to make the more blue in the sky, or
not really? Not necessarily. It's a lot of times when you're shooting birds, the sky does get blown out. You're going to see that a few times in some of the images here, and So
and in the context of the assignment, bird portraiture, that's not a bad thing at all. Having that plain white background. Again, this time it's natural, but it's almost a studio background in a natural occurrence.
The next one is Resting Beauty. This is Garrett Chin's, and let's see, Resting Beauty score is 23.3.
Mm-hmm.
It
looks like it's a very tight crop from a larger image. There's a lot of artifacts and grain and stuff in there, and it's not quite sharp enough to hold up to that amount of cropping zoom.
Right. As you can see here, the eye is really soft. There's a little bit of texture in here. So the actual focus of the bird may have been in this area here, right here, but you missed the eye. And again, it's always important to have that eye in focus, if nothing else. The next one is, Here's Looking at You. This is Paul Cahill's. This is his first submission to us. So,
hey, Paul.
And his score is 24.1.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his way home from work, but he said that I'm empowered to
so Diana, you can tell him what we said.
I will.
Again, this is, you're shooting a dark bird against a bright sky. So the only way you're going to get the bird exposed properly, especially with that white head, is to blow out the sky. So
yeah, you'll sacrifice the sky to get that shot. Absolutely. Which was done, and it was done appropriately.
Yeah. The only thing I think I would have done differently is to fill in, either chop off. His tail kind of goes down here. So technically you don't want to chop off a part of the bird. So what I would do is fill in this area right here where the leaves are, especially along the edges, and then get rid of this little one sticking up here. Just some border patrol. That's all you need to do.
Will you fill that with like content aware fill or?
Yeah. Or cloning.
And and you could do the same thing upper right, not all the way into the corner, but just the top three leaves that are pointing toward the bird's head.
Take them in?
Yeah.
Are you saying take them in or take them out?
Take it out.
What do you think about sky?
Pointing at the bird?
What, this one? Yeah.
Yeah, just those, that and the two below it, those, or even just the one below it with the dead, with the brown point on the leaf. Yeah, just those right there.
You don't think that adds like pointing at the bird, Jim?
Not really. I mean, we don't.
What do you think about sky replacement?
Switch to that Band-Aid tool, Lynn.
Oh yeah, the Band-Aid.
That might help you with what you're trying to do there. I think
this is not as good as the remove tool, the new remove tool
in
Photoshop. Not even by a stretch. I got so many. Come on, delete.
I was trying to do this in Lightroom recently too, so I'm glad that you're having.
So just remove this one and this one because it's got a big dead spot on it.
Yeah,
and then
do it.
This little one here.
It'd take 5 seconds in Photoshop to do that.
Yeah, real easy. And then I think I would probably pull up your darks, the dark a little bit. I don't know if you do the shell. Yeah, just so you could see the feathers on his breast. That's all. just give them a little definition. You could use a little texture. And then, and you might even, the other thing you might want to do, sounds crazy, but you want to saturate the yellow a little bit and then darken it.
Yeah, I agree.
Normally their bills are really, really yellow, really bright yellow. So you could just put the thingy on it and increase it that way. There we go, a little bit more. So just to give us, he's a little flat because his bill should be a little brighter. That's it. Just a few little tweaks, but the bird itself is in good shape. I mean, his eyes are in focus, and it's a great catch.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What about sky replacement on a picture like this where the sky is blown out behind?
That would be hard.
A very subtle,
yeah.
Create a sky of some sort back there.
It would have to be very subtle to look realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because because of all the leaves, it would not work very well, and it would be more obvious.
Sometimes
yeah.
When I like that.
I mean,
it doesn't always work, but it does in a lot of situations. I use the dehaze tool, and that puts a lot of blue back into your picture if you and it will put some blue tint at least into the sky. I
mean, it
helps.
I mean, but if it's blown out, see the histogram, guys. If there was any data there, it would be all the way over here to the right side, and there's nothing there. So there's no data here. So even using dehaze, only it just darkens up the bird.
Well, I would,
You could go to the output slider on the histogram to turn that white gray, but I would just retitle the shot "High Key Eagle," and it explains everything, just like a high key portrait.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with birds, blown out sky is pretty common.
Yeah, a white sky is very common in bird photography.
Yeah, it's very, very common.
Don't even give it a second thought usually.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. This one is My Good Side. This is Kelly Sayers' image, and the score is 24.2.
Very good.
Yeah.
Headshot.
Yep.
Yeah,
very nice headshot.
His eye is in focus. It gives it a little bit of personality because his head is turned, not just a straight on shot. And these guys are always looking.
Yeah, the background is great.
Yeah, it's very obviously the background was somewhat far away, so that it would blur out like that.
Yeah, this is a good example of bird portrait. Exactly what the assignment was calling for.
This one is Sing. This is Diana Cahill's. Diana, this is really a cool picture, but it's not really a portrait.
Oh, I was worried you were going to say that.
There's too much. This is an environmental portrait of a bird.
Maybe I'll send it
next assignment.
So if you crop it into like the middle.
Oh yeah, you could crop this in and make it work.
Yeah, you could, if you cropped it, basically to something like this.
Okay, you want it that far cropped in.
Yeah.
All right.
We're getting rid of all the, because it's a bird, it's going to be somewhere in the environment. You're going to have something like a branch or something like this. Technically the flowers are kind of distracting from them because they're white. So that is kind of taken away from it. You got, this other stuff, the sticks and stuff like that. But yeah, a portrait you want to be fairly close. And, and so, nothing else in the picture,
Yep, it's got a good portrait style background now.
Yeah.
It's tight. Yep. The only distracting element now is the stick through the tail.
Yep.
They asked you to crop it.
Yeah. Okay, next one is Morning Dove, and this one is Kathy Thompson's. His score is 23.7. Make sure.
Yeah, got a nice background.
Yep.
Sharp, in focus.
Yeah.
I think the cat's got Robert's tongue tonight.
Yeah. No. I'm taking it all in.
The bird has got his tongue.
I'm taking it all in.
Yeah. The only thing about this is he's on a wire. And sometimes I know that's the only where, if you're not out looking for birds like I do all the time, you're going to only catch them on something like this. But it would be nice to have something that was a little more natural, because the wire is anything that's man-made is going to be a distraction. And because he's standing on a man-made wire, that sort of pulls my eye away from him, which is not what you want us to want.
I wonder if it would have been helpful to, just like that branch that Jack did, if tone it down.
Yeah, it would have helped a little bit, but it's a man-made straight thing. And so it's always good. Anything that's man-made is always going to take our attention. If it's the priority is person, writing, man-made, and then the subject. And then whatever else is in the picture. Those are the things that, because of the way our brains work, that's how you're going to see stuff in the image. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're, when you're.
What was that list again?
Pardon? It's person, writing, any kind of printing or words, and then man-made anything.
Okay.
A lot of wildlife like contests and stuff like that, where for photography you cannot have any man-made anything in it, nothing, and they won't even consider if it has anything man-made in it at all, because it's distracting from the animal. So next one is mine, and this one is Atlantic puffin, and the score is 24.7.
Yep.
And I will be quiet.
This puffin, Lynn?
This is
another good portrait.
He was in England when I went there last year, at the Farne Islands, Northern England.
Put it full screen, Lynn, so we can appreciate it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Good. Now it's even more beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful
shot.
shot.
He was so close to me that I had to lay down. I had my 200 to 500 lens, and I had to lay down and lean way back as far as I could to get him in focus. And I couldn't get his whole body. There was no way. He was just too close. That's how close.
See you in his eye.
Yeah, he was right there. I mean, right there. I mean, literally, we could have touched them, which we didn't do, obviously, but that's how close these guys were on Farne Island. This was on Staple Island, which is one of the Farne Islands. So nice. Thank you.
Lynn, I'm seeing something at the tip of his beak. Is it my monitor?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, there is something there. I don't know what that is.
It's for real. It's there.
Yeah.
You're not imagining it.
Okay.
Yeah, there is something there. I never even saw that before. I didn't blow it up.
I can't believe you let that get by.
Yeah, that's a Curtis thing. The Curtis effect has struck again. All right, next one is Jay, and this is Diana Cahill's, and score is 22.5. Again, with this one, Diana, it's not a portrait. I mean, the problem is if you had, at least you're a little closer with this one, but this stick and all this stuff in the way is just distracting from it totally. So,
yep, a huge stick cutting right through the middle of the bird.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, you could have done. That's all you had. We could have just done that.
Another one of those bird headshots. There you go. Lynn. Open up the shadows on that, and you got it.
Yeah. Take down the highlights a little bit. Take up the shadows, and you got a bird. Not a whole. I mean, the sun is in a bad spot here because it's making a lot of shadows on him. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not really a portrait.
He's there.
He's there. That's it. Next one is Western Bluebird Youngster, and this is Kathy Thompson's, and the score on this one is 24.3. I really, really like this one a lot. The only thing I would say is there's too much wood and not enough. We don't need all that.
Thank you, Lynn. We didn't need that additional knot in the wood underneath it. You could go just a little bit lower so you don't cut a tangent on the one little knot by its feet, but we don't need that other great big knot in the wood under there.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just a cool little bird, and you don't see these guys very often. So great little, and he's got his little, over the head turn just like a model does. So yeah, this is a good one. Reset. All right. Next one is city pelican, and this is Lourdes' image.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really nice portrait, but again, the man-made stuff is very distracting from the portrait. I mean, his eye is in focus, most of his body is in focus, which is great, but because of all this stuff behind him, which that's where pelicans are, unfortunately, it is very hard to keep your eye on him because you want to go and look at all that man-made stuff.
Yeah, the pose is good.
Yep. Yeah, and the lighting's got him, and the processing is good, but it's not. It's a little bit. Oh, there's too much other stuff going on around him that's not bird-like.
Aren't pelicans around here normally either flying around bridges, landing on bridges, or doing their duty on bridges? I mean, is there places you can? I don't shoot birds. If it moves, I don't shoot it. But is there a place you can go somewhere where pelicans are just in their natural habitat, or is this their natural habitat?
Some of them.
I mean, most of the pelicans I shoot are flying or in the water, because this is where they usually end up, is on bridges and on railings and stuff like that. And so I can't recall ever shooting a pelican, not in the water or the air.
What about like on the mangroves or something?
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, they might be in the mangroves or something like that.
Cedar Key is a wonderful place.
And to be honest with you, they're kind of clunky looking when they're when they're in a tree because they're so big. So yeah, they're
Someone mentioned Cedar Key.
When they let loose on your car, they do a good job too.
Now we have some other pictures coming up where you see that they were able to get a pelican.
Okay.
But they did it a little differently, and that way it made it less. It was, I don't know what the environment it was in because we can't see where it was, but it's much in terms of portraiture, it's a better portrait. So anyway, moving on to the next one. This is called the Lorikeet, and this is Karen Robinson's, and the score is 24.5.
We don't see it yet. Oh, this is the pelican. Oh, there you go.
There it is. And Jack, so what do you say about this one?
Yeah, that's a nice amount of bokeh back there. I like that much better.
Yeah, Karen, this is nice.
Yep, that was nicely done.
Yeah, very nice. He's got a nice bark in his eye, and he's in focus, and I see you've darkened up the post he's sitting on. I mean, it could be an issue because it has been chopped off. So it's a little less natural than you'd like to see, but at the same time, we know it's probably at the zoo or at the.
Yeah, let's say, did you do this at the zoo?
So yeah,
Busch Gardens.
Yeah. So
Busch Gardens, okay.
Yeah. The only thing I would say right here is, I don't know if you see this, like there's like brown right here on the edge. Yeah, just either cut it off or just get rid of it.
Okay. What about the white spot on the right side? The bokeh there? Yeah.
That doesn't bother me as very much because it's light. It's like the light that part down here. I don't know. Does it? What do you think, Robert or Jim?
Karen, don't fall for it. They're setting you up.
There were big white spots, big white bokeh, which I took out.
Yeah.
Karen, telling you, don't fall for it.
I like this. Is that a bad thing? I like that.
No, I mean bokeh is usually, true bokeh has spots.
That's nice. You could tone down that white spot, or the other thing that you could do would be to clone some of that and reverse it to the other side so that you have it on both sides of the image.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Yeah. That way, because it looks kind of weird because there's bokeh over here and not any over here.
Yeah,
so
I would have duplicated some of that on the other side of the image.
Yeah.
How about a little vignetting?
Yeah, you could, just about every image you can put some vignette on a little bit. You don't want to get carried away with it because it is kind of bright. If nothing else, on these corners here, you could do a gradient. We could do a radial gradient here, and do it like this. And invert it and darken it up a little bit. That takes a little bit of that brightness off the corners. And eliminates those brown spots over here as well.
Invert that and lighten it up in the middle a little bit too for me.
Yeah, then what we can do here is just take this and duplicate it, invert it which now is on the bird, and we're going to make it smaller and turn it a little bit. And just
there you go.
Brighten up the birdie a
Lighten
little
that
bit.
up just there you go. That's it.
See?
See how much more that pops off the background?
Yeah. So here he started where it was dark behind him. Now look at, he keeps popping off the background now. Just by darkening up the edges a little bit and brightening him up just a tad. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving right along, the next one is Pelican Portrait. And this one is Chris Marigues, and his score is 25. This is awesome.
Really strong visual impact on this one.
Yes.
And you know he's even chopped part of the bird off, but still it's just because the eye is in that position. Whoa.
Yep, everything from the eye to the tip of the beak and all those all that great plumage in the below the head is in great focus, and the background is so creamy soft out of focus. That's a headshot that just jumps off the screen.
Lynn, can you full screen it?
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get a pelican without distracting stuff behind it. If you got to find the right position. He's got to be in the right position, and you got to get in the right position. You could probably lighten up this dark stuff back here a little bit too. Let's see if we can do that. We're gonna ask it for the mask the background out, and then just I don't know. That's not gonna work. There we go. How's that? That's a little bit less dark, so that he pops even more off the background. Just a little bit of lowering the background down just a tad. All right, reset. The next one is I can't say this, songstress. And this is Sylvia's, and the score is 25.3. Okay, we really like this one. Even though she's singing, and I'm not sure if this is a she or a he. This is a palm warbler, I think. So I can't remember if there's a way to check. You check? Yeah. So yeah, this is and there's natural stuff here, but it's so subdued that it really isn't important. I mean, I don't know. What do you think it would be better if we chop that little fuzzy thing off there?
No, I think the thing behind it that's under the tail bothers me more than that does.
Yeah, I would just clone out that thing sticking up behind the rump right there.
Yeah, just that.
Yeah, this little thingy here.
Yeah.
Other than that, this is great. I mean, she's just not sitting there. She's singing. She's got her mouth.
It has open. The bird has an expression. An
looks
expression
like it's
is
smiling.
Yeah, exactly. An expression is fine for a portrait.
Yeah. Whether it's sticking your tongue out or going. All right. I've been working at this too long today. All right, next one is In Repose. And this one is Sylvia's also. And the score on that one was 24.8.
Ooh.
I have a question, which is when we go back to it.
Wait, there we go.
Yeah, you can go full screen. Yeah. Yeah, my question is, why so close to the right side of the frame, and why all the negative space on the left side of the frame?
Just because he was looking that way, and so I felt like I needed to give him more space on that side. Maybe I took too much off the right, or I could have come in a little more since it was portrait, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a lot of space. Now, this almost looks like it was done for a commercial, shot to have copy, put in it when we see it again. It could almost be an album cover. You could put the word "In Repose" in big letters over its head, and then in the negative space on the left side of the frame, you could put all the song track titles, and you'd have an album cover. It could be bird songs.
Bird songs, yeah. yeah, his eye is nice and in focus, and we see texture in his feathers, and the beautiful colors. This is a little blue heron, and so yeah, he's got all his colors coming out because it's breeding season. So yeah, another great portrait.
Thank you.
Next one is Breakfast, and this one is Helga's.
Would you ever make a portrait of somebody
with food in
swallowing their food?
Nope.
There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a portrait. It's a great shot of an osprey, but it doesn't fulfill the. Yeah, you would not. I'd kill anybody that takes pictures of me. It always seems like when people take pictures of me, I've got food in my mouth, but I wouldn't want it as a portrait.
Environmental portrait?
Not even that. No, this is eating. This is a bird behavior.
That's feeding behavior.
Yeah. This is bird behavior. Yeah, it's great. It's a great shot, but it's just not the assignment, unfortunately.
What was the score?
The score on that one was, hold on. I lost it. 23.4. All right, next one is Out for a Beach Walk. And that one is Lee's, and the score is 23.7. Technically,
hold down the highlights for me.
Yeah, the highlights are really, really bright on this thing. Let's say take up the dehaze a little bit.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, low contrast. Yeah, the whites are pretty blown out on his chest, but
that made a world of difference with the adjustments you made, Lynn.
Yeah. He's walking, so he's actually doing an activity. So it's, if you're standing still and you're kind of doing like you're singing or something like that, but when you make a portrait of somebody, you don't normally take a portrait of them while they're walking, right? Lee's not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Robert?
Oh no, I'm good with you.
Okay. Next one, another pelican. I got my eye on you, and this is Nona's.
Yep. And a nice headshot.
Score is 25.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is beautiful. This is in full breeding plumage. We don't see these like this in Florida that often.
You can go into the zoom. Yeah, full screen.
Yeah.
Because I added a little bit of a painterly effect on it too.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, and there again, he was sitting. I don't know where he was sitting. Where was he sitting, Nona? Do you know?
Yeah, it was on a rock on the ocean, and it was in Texas.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but you were able to get him so there was nothing around him that was distracting, which is great. So
yeah, I moved it so that there was nothing.
Yeah, you just have to, I mean, again, you got to walk around and try to find a spot where the background is. And Loris was shooting kind of up at him. This, you're shooting more down. So then he's more got the water behind him rather than anything else. So
yep, nicely done.
Colors on this are gorgeous. Next one is No Mourning for This Dove.
The mourning doves are liking the wires a lot.
Yeah, and that's Jan's. This is Jan's image, and the score is 24.4.
Mm-hmm. It's got a very pleasing background, though.
Yeah.
It works very well with the background. The backlighting is very nice.
Yep.
The background is very, very portrait-like in nature. Very well done.
Yeah, the wire on this one is a little bigger. So I don't know, it seems like a bigger wire is less obtrusive than a small wire, which makes no sense at all, but to me, in my eye, just seems to, and it's a little darker.
The other wire was very bright and it was very thin, and it gave me the impression that the bird was like really gripping really hard to stay on that little skinny wire. And this bird looks much more relaxed.
Yeah. The lighting, I love the lighting on it. It was either late afternoon or early morning. Jan,
it was late afternoon. Yeah, it was late afternoon.
Yeah. I know it's hard to find doves on anything but wires, it seems like, but yeah, we try to find a natural perch for them if you can at all. So
he looks relaxed because he doesn't have 5 neurons to rub together.
Yeah. And there's nobody shooting at him at the moment.
Right.
Next one is it's in here somewhere.
Yeah. Now see again, I would never let someone take a portrait of me sniffing my armpit.
Yeah, this one is Jan's, and the score is 22.8. Yeah, this is a really cool image of a sandhill crane, but yeah, this is not a portrait.
Oops.
Where was this shot made?
This was made in the Oakland Wetlands Preserve. Orlando Wetlands Preserve. That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a beautiful image.
Yeah, it's a beautiful image.
Thanks, Robert.
Not for this. You should have put this one in general, Jan.
Oh well.
Again, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it's like it's like when you check to see if your deodorant is still working or not. You don't get your portrait shot when you're checking your deodorant.
I'm not ready.
We're having fun tonight. Okay, this one is White Beauty. This is Karen's, and the score is 22.4.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a little overblown.
Yep.
Very, very, very overexposed.
Yeah. The highlights were clipped.
Yeah.
Pretty badly on that.
Yeah, I think right here is it, and then you've got this big shadow going on right here.
Yeah, on the top of the head and on the shoulder.
Yeah, I just and I'm not. I have a feeling this is about knee level too. So you chopped him off right at the knee.
It looks like an awkward amputation.
Yeah.
That was my problem. So Karen, you see, they were nice to you in the beginning, but now they're cutting you down. Told you they were going to do it.
Happens quick, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I had a problem. This weird. The crop on it was not quite there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things with birds, guys. You don't want to, you're just like with people, you don't chop a person off at their elbow or at their knee. You do it somewhere mid tibia or fibula or whatever it is. And and then also the other end of it, if his feet are underwater, then you want, or in a branch, you want to make it so that their feet are all the way, you don't chop them off there either, because you want, even though you can't see their feet, you want to know that there's room for their feet there. Just like,
yeah. So in this case, it looks like it's almost like it's cut through a knee joint or very close to it. And it puts the bird, even the bird's tail, almost touching the bottom of the frame, and then there's a lot of excess space above the bird on the top. Even not just the part where it's cut through the leg, but overall it's an awkward crop.
I have an important fun fact. That is not the bird's knee, that's the bird's ankle.
Okay,
that's true. Foot anatomy is different.
I don't know my bird anatomy.
The point still stands. But
it's a joint.
The bird's knee is up under its wing.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other issue. Not knowing about different species of birds and what their anatomy is, with the rest of that leg missing. It's just a guess. I had no idea that this bird had such short legs, and in my mind, I'm envisioning it's one of those tall, waiting kind of birds, but apparently it's not.
No, you are correct. A bird's ankle in its leg is at the same location that our knee is, and it's like tarsals, what we would have at the top of our foot, is extended like our tibia and fibula would be.
Yeah.
The background, though, I think is actually
the background's great, and this
it's a beautiful background.
His eye is spot on in this. He's in the breeding plumage, so he's got the bright colors on his face. So yeah, other than the chopped off leg and the overexposure, it would have been a great. It's a great subject, Karen. This one is Snowy Egret. And this one is by Jack, and the score is 23.5.
Do me a favor, Lynn. Just make the yellow flower behind its rear end go away. That feels visually awkward to me where it's placed.
Bye-bye, flower.
Thanks.
Yeah, it looks like he could, I don't know, this.
Yeah.
It's really bright on his back.
Yeah, if you can bring up the exposure of of just the shadowy parts of the bird and make it pop a little more. It's kind of flat looking.
Yeah,
I know that's what you're trying to do is make the bird pop a little more.
I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do that would be.
Now that you got the bird selected, just increase the exposure, but push the highlights back.
Not that much.
No, yeah, but keep bringing the exposure up. Just save the highlights. Yeah.
It's there we go.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of play it.
That's much better.
Back. You see that Jack going back and forth with the exposure, the highlights, and just trying to get hit a balance where it's not blown out, but it gives you a little more
contrast.
More contrast, more texture in his wing, in his feathers.
Yeah.
Birds are not, they look smooth, but they really aren't.
Take your shadow slider and push it up too while you're in that mask.
The which one?
Shadows.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, a little. Oh, your exposure went back to 0. That's weird.
Oh no, that's because I was on the. I did it on the bird.
Well, that's different. Yeah, because I wanted to see that on the bird. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to see it on the bird. Yep. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, so it just needed a little bit of tweaking and getting rid of that. It looks like his little flower to poop on.
I like that flower.
Fertilizer.
So you can cut it off and put it over here.
Okay.
Okay. And this one is called Snow Crane. And this one is Fongs, and the score is 21.8.
Zoom in on that, especially. Yeah. Look at and pull down a little bit. Pull it down a little. Yeah. And look around those feathers where this, and especially in the tail, in the back part of it, up. Yeah, where the effect does not carry through. And I am.
There's a branch.
I'm totally confused by the effect, and why.
Because background too many bush. I want to stand up this bird, so I make a motion blur.
Okay.
It didn't work.
The leg, its legs got sucked down the vortex.
Yeah, his legs are gone.
Its legs disappeared in the vortex.
Yeah, and then you've still got some sticks back here that didn't make it into the blur. So yeah, if this is a portrait, if we understand, if the branches were too close, that they weren't blurry, then you should have tried to see if you could find another image that you could have used that was had the proper background, rather than doing something like this, because it's just like very confusing about what's going on here. Okay. And it looks like it's like super over sharpened too. It's really crispy. See right here, all this part of it is, I think, has to do with the blurring from the background, because it's got really weird edges from the mask. But and his head the feathers are chopped off right here as well. So yeah. Just look for a bird with a better background next time. Okay.
Yeah. If now to do this motion blur, what you can do if you?
What would I would never use that.
Lynn would have used a different image. I would have.
Yeah, I would definitely. You could use a motion blur, but it would be, like if you're gonna make somebody like a race car look or a car look like it's going really fast. That's where I would use it, not something like this.
Because she shake his fiber, I think very pretty. So I choose. So
right.
What score this I didn't catch?
The score, I'm sorry. The score is 21.8.
Okay.
Okay, let me roll up here. I have a lot more to get through here. Rolling. Okay, next one. Next one is Waiting for My Husband, and this one is also Fong's.
Huh?
This one's also yours, and the score is 22.5.
Okay.
And again, this one is not really a portrait because it's actually doing grooming. So this is a good behavior image, but it's not really a portrait.
Yeah. Overall, it's like I say, technically, it's a better image than the prior image. It doesn't count as a portrait, but it's definitely technically done better.
Yeah.
This art portrait make a neck curve.
All right, next one is Hey, I Ain't No Bluebird of Happiness. And that's Jim McWilliams. The score is 22.8.
It's got an absolutely beautiful background, and it's got a very painful looking stick in the neck.
Yeah, this thing, it looks like I don't know if it was cut off because it looks like it's been chopped off right there. Right at his neck. It was, yeah. I mean, if you're going to do that, Jim, you should have taken it down to here.
Take it all the way off. Lop it off at the main trunk.
Great, yeah. And it just is being stabbed in the neck very badly there. Other than that,
that's probably not.
The background is the background's a beautiful background. Be careful with the hard edges on your patching and cloning and content aware filling. Those hard edges and repeating pattern up there in the upper left is a distraction to that.
Yeah, there's like a really hard edge right here. If you
and there's
the whole area.
And there's a repetition of elements up there too. Obviously, you were trying to take something out. It's just a matter of it needs to be blended better when it's done.
Why is the branch on the left kind of bluey in the center?
Right here.
Yeah.
Looks like
it looks like part of what was being done for the background retouching.
Yeah, got affected that.
It looks like an artifact of the background retouching.
Yeah, Jim, I would have taken out this whole branch.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Yeah, the whole thing should have gone. And then maybe even take it down. Yeah, I guess you could have. This part would have been okay, but the other issue is he's got this
little flower there.
This flower that's on the branch stuck in his. And unfortunately, it's just really not a great position for the bird with all the stuff in front of it. So
I asked him to move and he wouldn't.
Darn birds. They're not very good at, taking direction.
Not at all.
All right. Next one is Look. And this one is Lee Wins, and the score is 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Luann here tonight?
Background is beautiful on that.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this shot.
Well, it's a very late afternoon sunset time. I've tried to find a clear background, and he happened on this branch. So I kind of lower I basically actually lay down on the ground, shooting up, and then we can get a clear background.
Perfect. Perfect. And you darkened up this branch, obviously.
What I'm interested
no, the
in.
branch was darkened. Actually, I lighted up the bird.
Yeah.
Because the light is on the behind him.
Right.
Yep.
I'm interested in is that the bird's eyes are peering right at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I was really good at that.
And well, there was a shot earlier that was very similar, and the eye was a profile and it was semi-profile, and one of the eyes was peering, the other eyes was sort of cut off. And this one, I find it to be much more portrait-like than the other one. The one in the that was earlier. I think it was Lee's shot.
Yeah. Brian, you had something you say?
The lower left corner, there's one little pixel of light that I would like to see go away.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, right here. See that, Luann? Or just chop this off? Yeah, tiny little. Again, watching those corners. Always got. We need to have that voice in our head from Robert and Jim. Watch the corners. Watch the borders.
Yep. I have enough voices in my head already.
Brian beat me to it. I was going to mention that. Brian beat me to it. Thank you, Brian. But yeah, even the whole time we've been sitting here discussing it, my left eye just kept going to that corner.
That little corner. Yeah. Okay, this one is male ruby-throated hummingbird. This is my image.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we? Its score is 24.3.
Full screen.
I'm trying. Wait a minute. My computer's being persnickety.
There we go.
I will ask why, in this particular case, did you leave the brightness value of the one right behind him as much as it was in comparison to the left-hand side green?
Because I wanted that green to stand out on his back.
Okay.
I thought it was contrasty. And there was some contrast here. If I darkened it up, then it would have been closer to the color on his, or the tone in his back. So I left it bright. I should have darkened up the branch a little bit. I just noticed that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the hummingbird that will not sit still. And I actually caught him while he was sitting on the branch, and I was like so in shock. He goes to the feeder and he flies away. He doesn't hover. He doesn't do anything. I was really surprised I caught him on the branch.
There's a very bright little couple of pixels a spot right below his foot.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think that's his toenail, but yeah, I should have got rid of that too. All right. I will get the bill. Yeah, this is Kelly's. And the score is 24.6.
You want to give us full screen on that one? Yeah.
This is a very different image of a spoonbill, but it brings out the that beautiful red eye that they have, and he's in breeding plumage, so his face has got all that color in it as well. So the eye.
Do me one favor, Lynn. Yeah. Just put a radial mask on the hot spot
on his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only issue right here is this right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Much better. Much better. Yeah. Thank you.
Just a little too bright.
Way too bright.
Especially when you're considering that all of this is dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's really too much. We like contrast, but not that much.
Yeah, it was taking you away from the head, but where you have it right now is fantastic. Now jump from there to the original, and you can see how much that takes you away from its head. Boom.
Yeah, it's so much brighter than his head, and he's got that beautiful red eye and the orange skin around his eye and the yellow head, and so yeah, just get rid of the white, and you're good. Next one is Facing the Rising Sun.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is Chris's, and it's a 23.4 score.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice little shot, but there's too much to be a portrait.
Yep, it's a little bird walking away in a big frame.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem is he's got his head turned, so it's. If you've cropped it that much, it would be, I think, a better portrait.
That is much better.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That way, it's all about him and not about where he is.
Yep. Just shift the bird, to the right a little bit within that frame, and other way. There you go. Well, there's a little much, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's much better.
That way, and if since he's got his head turned towards you, that's a good thing, because that gives it a little bit more of an over the shoulder kind of pose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now it looks more like the bird is looking over the shoulder at the camera, as opposed to in that wide shot, it's just a bird walking away.
Yeah. And he doesn't appear to be moving. So, yeah, like the other one was walking. This one is actually standing still. So, although he does have a kind of a messy bill, but that's okay. He's on the beach. So birds have messy bills. Chris, do you have any questions on that?
No, it makes sense. The bird had been kind of digging around in the sand, looking for breakfast. So
yeah, that's what they do. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, at least he's standing still and he is looking towards you. So that with that crop, it makes it more of a portrait. Oops. Next one is Drake at Sunset. This one is Natalie's, and its score is 23.6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. It's a really low res image. Yeah. So it
because
doesn't.
It took that strip of greenery out of the bottom, which, that greenery at the bottom isn't part of the bird portrait as I see it, and all that space above the top isn't necessary for it to be a portrait of that bird. There you go.
Whose shot is this?
This is Natalie's.
Natalie, why did you give me so much on top?
I liked it. I have a hard time with editing from the camera and obviously on the back end. So I wasn't sure what the assignment was with just the basic instructions. So
well, all you really needed to do is, he's turned it, in your direction. So we can see his eye, but yeah, you just needed to when you think of a portrait of a person, it's just the same thing for an animal or a bird.
Yep.
He's standing still, he's looking at you, but it's about him. It's not about everything around him. So you're having the same issue as a lot of people are. So.
And what you've done with it, Lynn, those are the issues, and they're fixed, as
just like that,
as simple as that.
Yeah, It's pretty quick. So just a little crop, and that was all you needed.
Okay.
All right. Next one is Black Swan Nesting, and this one also is Natalie's, right? Yes. And scores 21.4. Natalie, this is not a portrait.
Okay.
Not even close. We could, this is an environmental image.
Okay.
You could do something like this, and then you'd have to get the head out of there and, miss it, but it's just, and it's really not in focus. So yeah, this one was just not the assignment, unfortunately.
Natalie, got a question for you.
Sure.
How long have you been a part of this group?
A little over a year, and I've missed most of this year's meetings.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, you got a half a year to go. Don't be missing my meetings, because what you just did to me, go back to the shot prior to.
Yeah, this one was so much better. I'm like, it had some minor issues, but compared to this one, it was like, what was she thinking?
I didn't understand the assignment, so that's
no, you don't get that out. Go back one. Okay. Go back to the other. Don't be bringing me no beautiful stuff and then turn around and bring me the ugly duckling.
Ugly swan.
Right. Ugly swan is the same thing. Don't do that.
The ugly duckling was a swan.
Yeah.
He was actually, yeah.
But seriously, I want you to think about your composition and both of these images. Go back one more, and I want to point out something.
Okay.
You shot this shot vertically. Why?
Because there's other birds that I didn't want in that shot.
Okay. All right. So if you shoot a shot vertically and you're tightening it, you need to tighten it. Consider it going square whenever you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The second thing, let's go back to the other shot. Here, you did not move around.
Right.
You just shot what was there.
Yeah.
And I need you to workshop. The reason why I asked that is because if you look at where the bank stops and the bird on the other side is chopped, that's telling me that you're more interested in what's happening in the middle of your frame rather than the entire frame.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need you to give me more of the prior shot and a lot less of this.
Remember who your hero is, and make sure, because again, this is a man-made people, and you don't even see the bird because you're looking at this leading line here.
Yeah,
I see right around here to these people in the car, and so it's like the bird doesn't even exist because of the way everything else that's in the picture. So you got to keep what else is in the picture in mind beyond just your subject.
So if you work for somebody, tell them you need off. If you work for yourself, then take off. But make sure that you make the pictures like the prior one rather than the ones like this.
And I want to tell, she did contribute some images from the flower field, and she did a pretty good job with those flowers. So she
oh no, that's why I wonder why this shot is here.
Okay,
it's
moving on.
I think
Go ahead, Natalie.
Well, I think part of my image deciding which images to select, I think that's part of not knowing what to do, because I had other images like the
yeah, you'll get there.
Okay,
we all do it. We all go through this.
Okay, thanks.
And here's for the prize for the longest title. I don't know how the bubbles got here, but the other birds are laughing, and guess who it's from? Jim
McWilliam.
Mr. Jim McWilliam, and the score is 24.2.
Jim McWilliams. This is one of the as I mentioned, longest titles, but this shot works.
Yeah.
I had to think of something.
Right. In fact, next time, stop thinking.
You throw seven up on them?
Oh man.
Yeah, this is really cool. I would, and Lynn, you could probably do it in 2 seconds with that Band-Aid tool. There's just something right in front of his 1 foot and something behind the bird in the water. That you just take that out and behind the bird. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Yep.
Yeah, I think this one too. Yeah, just like that. And that now the bird stands out more because there's other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give a little more exposure to that. Let me just see that with a little bit more exposure.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
That makes the bubbles pop.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was just a little bit too dark with the way those bubbles were rendering. That looks very nice what you just did to it. That's a cool image.
Yeah. And the world's longest title.
Yeah. Wow.
This one's called Beach Bird. And this one is Lourdes, and the score is 23.9.
Mm-hmm. I need to put my sunglasses on to look at the bird's chest.
It's very overexposed. And as you can see, I've taken out all the highlights. It looks like there's no data right here on the very front of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing over here on the right-hand side of the histogram. So
but that helped if like I say, if you could bring up the rest of the image now after doing that made a difference.
Yeah.
That's the white birds are tough.
Yep. Especially in the sun on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Lynn. Can I get the score for the previous one? You guys were so excited on critiquing it that you never gave me the score.
It's 23.7.
All right. The other one.
On the Pelican?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 23.7. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. This one is called Watching My Girl, and it is by, where am I? Lost my place. This is Nona's.
Notice, is this alter reality or
24.4?
There's something about this that feels painterly.
Well, what I did was I created a textured background in Procreate that I used, and there were branches that I took out of the background, and I did add a painterly effect in Topaz Impression to it. So yes, you're right. It said Portrait Creative, so I assumed that creative meant you could do anything you want with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nope. This is this is very nice. When you do that though, we do want you to put AR in your title for altered reality and indicate, that it's intentional to look that way.
Oh, okay. When it said creative, I thought that that
Oh
was
no, yep, I saw exactly what you did and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You should hit the zoom into that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. The only thing I would say is, again, bright, your branches is bright or brighter than the bird. Always remember to make the branch darker than the bird.
Yeah.
This is like a book illustration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like a greeting card or like a pastel. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I live in Denver, and I was going to call it Denver Bronco Bluebird, but I wasn't sure if everybody knew that the Broncos were orange and blue.
I know.
Okay. And would you say the score was 24 point what?
Hold on. 24.4.
Okay, thanks.
I do have a question, which is, well, what is the dark thing next to the bird's tail beneath the stick? With the effect that was done, I wasn't able to put my finger on understanding what that was.
Oh, I don't know. I think it was.
I couldn't tell if it was part of the bird or part of the stick. Yeah,
I
with
think it's
with
part
that
of the bird.
with that painterly effect, I couldn't tell. That's what I was asking.
It might be a wing.
It's his wingtip. They cross in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wing. Their wings are like this.
Okay, yeah, because the detail got smudged out in that effect. I couldn't see any feather detail to know what that was.
Yep, I guess
Next
that's
one
what it
is
was.
beautiful. This one is Lee Wins, and the score is 24.5.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I think I would have gotten rid of this loopy thing right here, Lee Win, just darken it, and actually even darken this one up too. You may not have noticed them on your monitor, which happens to us a lot. But yeah, that's the only things that I like. And then again, darken up your branch a little more. And you know what else this branch would have needed? It needs to be warmer because it's bluish and everything else is warm. It really stands out. So you need to warm. I do this a lot. I warm up my branches a lot because they're so contrasty. And even this down here is warm because I guess the light is over here, but this is on the dark side of the branch. And so it's bluer and you want it to be not so, you don't want it to stand out as much. So, but yeah, great lighting on the face. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is Just Waiting. This one is Valerie's, and the score is 23.2.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a okay shot of blue heron. His eye is just on the edge of being in focus, which is good. But oops, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah, this is a case of as far as bird portraiture, in most of the other shots that were qualifying, the bird almost looks like it's at least turning its head, giving eye contact or whatever. This bird is completely disengaged from the photographer.
Yeah,
I really like this photo because it reminds me of the Pablo Escobar meme from the Streaming Show, where he's just sitting in prison staring blankly.
But that was in a portrait.
I mean, it's clearly an homage to that moment. It should be reflected in the score.
Moving on. This one is Between Beats. And this one is Tom's, and it's 23.5. I'm going to say this is an awesome as heck picture, but it's not a portrait.
It's a great action shot.
Yeah.
That's a great action shot of the hummingbird.
With them, coming into the flower like that is awesome, but unfortunately it's not a portrait. So does everybody understand that?
Well, I do now.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought we did mention it, I think last month briefly.
We actually talked about it 3 times about that it's not birds in action, it's portraiture, and and it's it'll be birds standing still and birds perched and birds on a stick, and there were 3 different meetings where we covered it.
Yeah, that's okay. This is a learning experience. This one's also this sailing away, and this one is also Tom's, and the score is 23 on this one. Again, it's because he's moving. And let's see. Yeah, you got it close to being. It's not quite in focus on the eye. It looks like his leg is in focus. Yeah, ish. It's even a little soft there.
It's just for what it is as the action shot of the bird flying away with the fish in its mouth. Lynn, would you crop that for me and make it be that shot? Yeah, that great big white rock up there just takes me away from that. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's much better
stuff. In fact, when I first downloaded, I didn't even see the bird. I'm like, what the heck? Where's the bird in this picture? I'm like,
the first thing I see is rocks.
Yeah, so you got to be careful about, this was, again, it's a white bird. This area right in here is not got any data. As you can see, there's nothing on the histogram. This is the hardest part with white birds, is you need to shoot them dark. And you need to shoot them, exposure for the white bird, and then bring everything back to where it belongs once you don't overexpose the bird.
Yeah, basically everything else in the frame is going to be underexposed, and you have to pull it up.
Yep. So that's with white birds, you've got to be careful about that, and it's hard. Believe me, I've been there, done that many times.
So why did you shoot this vertically?
So that's the way he had his camera when the bird flew by.
So I was in Wadi Shab, which is in Oman, in the Arabian, near the Arabian Gulf. It's next to Yemen, and I was in this canyon, and the bird just popped up, and I basically shot from the hip at it, and that's why it's vertical.
Yeah.
I had everything on manual, and I was just so pleased with the photo because I was not preparing to take birds in flight, and it worked out, which is also why I did the rocks.
Yeah,
because the wadi is in my mind part of it, but clearly that doesn't fit the portrait.
Yeah,
but good instincts on your timing on hitting the button with with the capture.
I think I just used my right hand to just spin the dial faster as I picked it up, just because I knew I wasn't close enough.
Yeah. Great. So great catch. All right, next one is ready for my close-up. And this one is Diana Rouse, and the score is 24.
Is Diana here?
I think she said she was.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Diana, we have a composition problem with our crop. That crop with the one leg and the it's not working for me.
So what do you want? Where's she shooting?
I want less on the bottom and more on the top.
Which I can't do right here.
Yeah, which you can't do unless you fake it.
Yeah, if you had him kind of cut off at the knee there, or at the
ankle,
at the ankle, or the elbow, the shoulder. I don't know. Diana knows. The other Diana knows.
Yeah, the crop is off for me. I mean, the composition is off, not the crop. The composition.
He looks dull. Somebody needs to feed him some more shrimp.
You can fix that. You can just add to the canvas on top.
Yeah, that would be super easy to add canvas on top of that.
Here, yeah.
Yep.
In Photoshop, you just do that, and it takes like minutes.
2 clicks in Photoshop.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. No, we can.
Okay. Yeah, I debated on that, whether to crop in more, but then I was afraid I was going to screw up his head.
But we're not saying crop.
No, you don't want to crop. We want to add. We want to add to.
Well, no, I know. But the other thing I could have done is, could I have darkened that whole foot and gotten rid of it?
The composition would have been off even if you had darkened it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you were all, you know, it just was like in a weird spot right here.
Yeah, I'm on the phone on my card. Mohan is driving, so it's hard for me to see the picture and talk at the same time.
So. Oh, you'll see it when if you can watch the recording, you'll be able to see it. Okay. Yeah, I just actually basically only took it up about just from the lighter part of the leg into the darker part of the leg up to where it starts widening, and that way it looks a little less weird. Yeah, it was just at a bad spot on the leg.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
It was just it was at a bad spot on the leg. So just, literally, like a half an inch on the bottom of the image. All right, next one is ready for my close-up. And this one is also Diana's. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the name of this one. Is it? What? Oh, no, this is Yes, Indeed, I Am a Perfect Specimen. And this one also Diana Rouse. Mm-hmm. And the score on this one was 24.4.
I like the way the bird is, it seems to fit within a natural frame in this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. The composition is definitely, is definitely correct for that.
And you've got a little bit of a curve going here with his tail going up and then his head coming around. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. That looks blown out, but it's nowhere near the edge on the histogram. Why is that?
Well, you got dark colors along the bottom, which are too bright, but they're not going to be anywhere near the right of the histogram. They're going to be more towards.
Yeah, well, that's because there's no data here. Right here,
it's
blown
still
out totally.
Yeah, but it's not up against the edge on the histogram.
That's because there's no data. If there's nothing here and it's white, that means there's no data.
But that's what I mean. I don't see anything white on the edge.
Well, you can watch this. See, I'm just making it whiter by exposing it more, and it's still right up. It's to the edge. It's not going. You have to go all the way up here. But the issue is when you're
Remember, Leslie, you are looking at a processed image that could have forced that histogram to the left like that. Yeah. I guarantee you, in the camera itself, there was a spike on the right.
Yeah. Okay, I was just asking why because I didn't understand that. Okay.
Yes, no, it is. Right here. It is. Yeah, it is clipped, but you're looking at a processed image, and so you have to remember you're also not looking at the original histogram that that came with the file in the camera.
Are you shooting?
Jim, would not that histogram be reflecting the dark background, because the background
that's over here.
Yeah.
I'm not asking about that side though, Diana. I was only asking.
Did you shoot this in RAW or JPEG?
RAW. I only shoot RAW.
Okay, which is kind of weird because the histogram that you see on the back of your camera represents the JPEG. You should have a stop and a half or more data available in a RAW file. So that thing must have really been pushing the right-hand side dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a white bird against this kind of a dark background like this, it's really hard to get it right. Really hard.
And you can always spot meter.
Yeah.
And you can always look at your histogram and dial it back.
Yeah. Remember, you need to be exposing for the bird, and it would mean this all would be really dark, really dark. And then you have to bring it back and put as processing, but you've got to expose for the brightest part of the bird. Which
and especially with a white bird, trust your histogram. But that's the thing to trust. Your meter can still lie to you depending on what metering mode you're in, but your histogram tells the truth, and you can dial back that histogram while you're looking at it before you push the button.
Okay, so basically, because it's got a lot of little comments, so I'm just trying to understand. So basically, I overexpose the bird.
Exactly. Yeah, you overexpose the neck.
I don't shoot. Okay, this is Dominic again. I don't shoot birds, but do most people who photograph birds, do they not use spot metering, especially on egrets and things like that with white plumage?
I do. I use spot metering.
Yeah, I mean, that to me would almost be an essential.
I didn't use spot metering.
Yeah.
That would be an essential, I would think.
Yeah, I never even thought about it. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, spot reading works. Yeah, you with a bird, especially when they're moving around a lot, it's a lot easier if you're using spot metering than if you're using anything else. So
thanks. I learned something.
Next one is split second snack. And this one is berries, and the score is 23.7.
Mm-hmm. Again, I wouldn't have my portrait taken with a cookie in my mouth.
And all this man-made stuff. I mean, it's, yep. You know, it's tempting. And I believe me, I take pictures of birds on the feeder. But usually the only time you see those if I can't catch them on anything else, and it's like an unusual bird. I have lots of pictures of titmice on the feeder, but I have branches, natural branches that are near the feeder, and I wait until they get on that branch and I take the picture there. And those are the pictures that you'll see. The only time the hummingbirds are usually the only one I will show on the feeder, because that prior to getting him on that branch, it was the only shot I have of the male hummingbird. So yeah,
like I say, since we're since it's portraiture, like I say, this would be the equivalent of shooting a human, in their kitchen eating a cookie out of the cabinet.
Yeah. Yep. Next one is sunset sandpiper, and this one is also berries.
Mm-hmm. Berry
score is 23.
Barry. Is Barry here?
Maybe not. He said he was going to be late, so it might be later. So,
why did he kill the reflection on this one?
Yeah, that's
what I felt was, awkward in this too, because it would be a good bird shot with the reflection, but the reflection would be distracting for it being a portrait. Right. For being a portrait, I would say just crop it up and get rid of that reflection. But the reflection cut just in half was awkward either way you look at it.
Right.
Now, that's more toward portrait. If you had included the whole reflection, that would have detracted from it being a portrait.
Right. Yeah. So.
But the half a reflection was visually awkward in any case.
Right.
Yeah. It's just this is almost like chopping off them at the wrong part of the leg. Is chopping off their head in the reflection. So always be mindful of that reflection, unless it's so distorted that you really can't see it or you understand what it is, or just, but this one is fairly clear. So you need to have the whole bird there. We're almost there at the end of the sign. This is Handsome Me. This is Susan's. 24.1 is the score. Another pelican. The only thing I see with this one is his body is a little dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I would lighten him up. I mean, we can do this.
It's also very flat. It almost looks.
Yeah, that's because he's too dark.
I don't know. I think there's more to it than that. I think
there's a little bit. Yeah, there's
an exposure problem.
Yeah, you got to open it up and use like dehaze or clarity or something in it as well.
Something is not right. Can you see that blown up full size?
There you go. That helped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now
it's a little better. And then Susan, I would have darkened up this post a little bit and brightened up his eyes. You can't really see his eyes.
Yeah, I
eyes are really dark
with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other issue is, remember, on a portrait, we need to be able to see their eyes, and a straight on view is okay, but we got to be able to see them.
Right.
So, yeah, this one was just on the edge.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is I Don't Want to Hear It. This one's also Susan's.
Mm-hmm.
Divorce coming.
I mean,
that would have been a better title.
You could definitely remove that stick that's in between them sticking up. Yeah, that one.
Weird. Yeah. Yep. In the back of the head.
Yeah. And then darken all this green stuff. So because
absolutely
it's very distracting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I
it's
didn't know how
hard,
to
you know,
get it
it's
out,
hard
so.
with birds. I mean, here, yeah, this is why you don't shoot pelicans in the tree.
Yeah.
Because they're always close to the tree, to the background. So pelicans are much better when they've got water behind them. Anything else, Robert?
No.
Okay. What was the number? Okay, that is the end of Assign.
Wait, I have a bird question.
Go ahead.
What's that? What's the bird in number 44?
This one here?
Yeah, what is that?
That is a tufted titmouse, a young one.
Is?
Yeah.
What is going on with his head?
That is a young tufted titmouse.
Oh, it's juvenile. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I've got them in my yard right now.
Yeah, I got a whole family of them.
Yep, I do too.
Let it go.
All right. So you guys want to take a quick break and then we'll start.
Yes.
We got 30 of these to go. We'll have to go through them quickly.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
30? Yikes.
So yeah, so we're doing better than we did last time, but yeah, we got to discuss this issue.
Definitely improvement, but yeah. And like I said, we've got it's a total of 77 images tonight. That's a lot of images to get through.
So everybody quickly go to the restroom, grab a drink, and we'll start back in 4 minutes.
Hey,
at 8:45.
Lynn?
Can I ask a question? What was my score for the pelican, please? I mean, not pelican, the roseate.
Where are you, Dina? 24.
Okay, thanks. And thank you very much for putting that at the end. I knew I was hoping I could get it. Appreciate it. Every time I come to these things, I learn.
Are you home now? Are you still in the car?
No, I'm in the car. Moen is driving. We had a WUSF event to go to that I couldn't. I'm on the board. I couldn't bag out. But thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Hopefully I'll be home changing in my pajamas soon. All right. And thank you, Robert, for your comments on the crop. I didn't know what to do with that crop. I really played around with it. So
He's gone.
He's what? He's snoring?
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Go to the restroom.
I don't see anybody. I'm just looking at it. It says done speaking, which my husband has been asking me to be for a while. Come on.
Lynn?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kid. How many images we go? We went through a lot of images.
We've been through 48.
I'm probably gonna sound like a Scrooge or whatever, but if you guys are spending 3 meetings discussing what's coming up as far as portraiture or minimalism or whatever, and people see images, examples, when they obviously don't meet the criteria, why are we even discussing them? Why aren't they just disqualified because they don't meet the basic criteria?
Because that's not how we operate here.
I mean,
we give credit. We're here. We're more. We're less about the competition and more about the comments. And so that, we're going to say that it doesn't fit the assignment, but we're going to tell you why, because we want you to understand what's going. This is, the assignments are to learn. It's not about winning or losing. It's to learn. Right. And that's where the direction we're going in here, and that's why we don't disqualify anybody. So. Okay.
I just come from much more, I'll say it, hard ass clubs.
Yeah. We're in the totally opposite direction. I mean, one of the discussions that we actually had at the board meeting was eliminating judging altogether, but we decided not to do that. So
you have to have people who know looking, otherwise, it becomes.
I think it's important to have the judging because it makes you go out and do that extra effort, even though you know damn well that you're not going to score against some of the other people. It doesn't matter. It makes me pay that much more attention to my editing. And I mean, I can hear all of your voices in my head, and that's not just the meds talking, but You know, I do. I hear, crop, border patrol. I hear, crop. I hear this. And I agree with you in terms of, maybe not necessarily spending a lot of time on something that's not fit the assignment. But even then, I still learn from the commentary that you applied to the bird, because you don't just cover the fact that it was unassigned. You cover what was wrong with the picture or what was right with the picture. So, I mean, I kind of sit on the fence on that one.
So I'd like to chime in as someone who hasn't been in the club that long. This is my second year. One of the things I found very appealing about the club is that by addressing the photo that was submitted and discussing it no matter what, I learn a lot from both my mistakes and then seeing your commentary for other people, ranging from the people who are professionals to the people who are not on the other side of the spectrum. So that was very appealing for me to decide to join the club. And it's part of the reason I've recommended the club to other people, is because I think the learning aspect of that is really accessible. And there are some things that I think I do a pretty good job of, but there are other things where I just feel completely like I'm trash at. Right. So it helps me to have all that input. So just the thought, because I mean, there's no real big prize at the end of this.
Well, yeah, that's, and our whole purpose here is to educate and make everybody a better photographer, and that's where we're always going to be. So don't worry, it ain't going to change. That direction is not going to change at all. So the
criticism is never mean spirited. I mean, and that's the beauty of it. It's not, listen, you stupid idiot. We told you this before. It's like, hey, you might have wanted to pay attention to that. So that's what I mean. It's done graciously. It's not done.
What the hell were you thinking isn't gracious?
Don't let the
Sorry?
What the hell were you thinking isn't gracious?
It is when I say it.
It isn't.
Now, that's not to say that the criticism is always received graciously. I'm not.
Actually, Robert's been really quiet today.
Okay.
Robert's been really quiet, uncharacteristically quiet today.
Okay, let's.
I don't know what that's about.
Because Lynn's making her the bird lady, but I'm going to be quiet now in general. So we need to get rolling on here. We got a bunch of these to do. So let's go ahead and get started on this first one.
Let's get up early tomorrow.
Yeah. The first one is Hibiscus. It's altered reality, and it's Doug Halstead, and the score was 22.9.
Mm-hmm. Strong visual impact with this, with the contrast and the colors and the altered reality part of it, the effects that were done to it, I think work well with this.
I concur 100%.
Hold on just a second. I erased something I need to put back in here.
It reminds me of one of those Mexican dances with the skirts that are twirling.
Yeah, that's actually a fiesta hibiscus.
I agree with you, Victoria. That's that. It gives me that impression as well. I think you nailed it with your description of that.
Lynn, can you make
that's because she lives in Texas now.
Now, yeah, she's seeing fiestas everywhere now. Anything else? All right, move on. Next one is, The Old and the New. And this one is Jim Higgins, and his score was 23.
Yeah. I want to bring up the value of that red a little bit more. It seems to be a little dull in there.
Absolutely. I like the composition. I like what's in the frame and the story that's being told. It seems subdued though. You could there you go.
See what I did there, Jim? I just increased the luminance in the red spectrum. You could do that there, or you could do it up here in the.
I guess I'm going to have to calibrate my monitor.
There you go.
Yeah, that's much better.
That's much better, Lynn.
Yeah.
I'll get up to full
what I
screen
saw on my
again.
monitor to begin with, yeah.
And you could take your brush tool or a tiny radial gradient and just hit that flower bud too. Just give it a little exposure. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
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 Lynn, make it full screen again. I think I saw something. Never mind, I didn't see something.
Wow.
Brian, I swear all you do is just look at the corners.
That's very nice. Yeah, just jump back to the before and now go to the end.
It's a subtle change, but it makes a heck of a difference.
Oh yeah.
Now it pops.
Yeah.
And that's a nice image. I like the composition a lot.
It's pretty. All right, next one is good to the last drop. It's also Jim's. We got a lot of extra stuff here that we don't need.
Yeah, primarily that vertical stick in the back. You know,
Yeah.
the flower in the corner. I don't find that to be so much of a problem. It mimics the other flowers, and it's dark, so it doesn't detract while it repeats the primary image as a secondary image. But there's a couple little tiny bright specks of stuff there. But I would leave that flower in the corner and just take some of those other distractions out. And you could pop the exposure on the bee a little bit. You could just brush in the bee and get the yellow to pop out on the bee a little bit from there. And that would, you don't actually have to do it, Lynn, but that would be my suggestions for further processing on this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now the bee jumps out of the flower real nicely.
He was a little
as
flat.
far as visually.
Yeah, he was a little flat.
Yep.
This one is Fall on Lake Superior, and this one is Brian's, and the score was 22.7.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this. I really like the composition. I like the moody feel of this. I like what's going. I like that diagonal dividing the frame where the between the driftwood and the wave, and there's some seaweed or some kind of weeds on the shore in the foreground right there that are just chopped right off in the front. I would have liked to see it backed out a little bit to not have those chopped off or just retouch them out of there. But that's the awkward part I feel about as far as compositionally within the image is the way those weeds are just chopped right off in the right at the bottom edge of the frame where you come into the frame to the first strong foreground element of the composition, but it has that right in front of it that's visually awkward.
So you would be fine with me just getting rid of that and making it all sand?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a little flat, Brian. See what I did there?
No, what did you do?
Okay, I basically I went up to the calibration and I add some red, which would make the sand a little brighter in these trees. And then I increased the saturation on the blue. Then I came down here and increased the contrast, and then the sky was a little blown out, so I lowered the highlights a little bit. So it's making, see how flat that is compared to that?
Yep,
it's got some dimension in it. So and that's you could do some more stuff with it, but that was just a basic.
Just just overall, give me a little bit more exposure on that, Lynn. Let me see just a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that looks nice right there.
Yeah. So you play with a little, then you add a little bit of exposure, then you take a little bit, you just kind of go back and forth until it looks like there's some depth in the picture. It was just like I said, it was just really flat like that.
As far as depth goes, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that foreground log, that seems to be a little flat to me. If that stood out a little bit more, that would be your subject or your story. And then
what I would do is a thing like this.
Yeah,
just a
that's the strong element you go to at first.
Yeah, and then everything else is a supporting character.
Yeah, you could definitely work on that in and of itself, and refine the brightness, the contrast, the texture of that being as that is the first strong element you see in the composition. You could isolate it, and like Lynn is doing, and and specifically do some work to that to make that pop. Yeah, good point.
Thank you for all the valuable input.
So I just selected it as the object, and you can see the difference just from that little bit that I did there in that log. I increased the texture and the clarity.
Was that Dom that pointed that out?
That was Dom. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good observation, Dom. I agree with that. Oh yeah, that made a huge difference, Lynn.
Yeah. Morning fog on Lake Superior. And that one is also Brian's. The score is 23.5.
I like that as it is.
Yeah, this one's much better.
Yeah,
I like the like the composition in this. I think if you took the bottom up just a little bit more, it would be, almost a perfect rule of thirds composition, which would just bring it up. Yeah, there you go, bingo, right there.
Yeah,
I think that's great. I really enjoyed looking at this image.
Yeah.
I like this composition, the feel of it, the subject matter. I think it all works very well. The colors.
Yeah. Robert?
I enjoyed this image as well, Brian, and I hated that it's yours.
No,
Hey, he had the killer image last month on with the road with the trees on it. So he's got a lot to live up to after that image.
I know.
But this is good, Brian. Well done. I enjoyed this image.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This one is Soft Touch, and this one is Chris's, and the score is 23.2.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, the only thing I would have done was get rid of this blob, whatever that. I know that's shit. It looks like
water
where you hit the water. Yeah.
I actually like that. That's part of this. To me, that's part of the story. That was the last wing beat, where the last wing beat touched the water, and now its wing is touching the water again. I got that as being the story of Soft Touch, is its wingtips are touching the water as it flies, and that's the last splash from the last wing beat. I would just bring the top down and make it into a pano. Oh God, yes, thank you.
Yeah. I thought that was, when I looked at it, now I look at it better, and at first I thought it was weeds. So I'm like, never mind. I changed my mind.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's the last wing beat hitting the water, which I think is definitely a great part of the story.
Works really well.
Yeah. Very good, Chris. And I'm glad you put it in general and not in portrait. The next one is A Kind Woman in London, and this is Kieran's, and the score was 23.5.
Mm-hmm. Karen.
Yes.
You drew me in.
Mm-hmm.
But
you drew me in to this photograph. You did a great job pulling me in.
Yeah, this is a really nice street photography shot with a great story. I would like to see it pulled down a little from the top so we don't see that security camera and pole and stuff like that going on. I don't think that's important to the story. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I brought it right to where the fence is hitting the edge, so you've got that line going in both directions.
That's exactly what I wanted to see with that.
It looks like she used a very small aperture. How about blurring out those people in the background a little bit?
It's at 9. Yeah. So yeah.
And the brick on that building as well.
How far away were you? Well, she was at 50 millimeters, so she was pretty close.
Yeah. No, I like that. It gives it more depth. I kind of like the people in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the genre of street photography, I'm okay with that. That doesn't create a problem for me looking at this as a quote unquote street photography photo.
Okay.
Yeah, and it takes you from there and tell you there's other people on the street too. So
especially
with this crop. Yeah,
especially with the crop. The crop helped it. Now there's some some visual tension where you do go to the background, you see there's other people, and then you come back to the foreground again
and start looking at all the pigeons.
Instead of having just an empty sidewalk that recedes away to nowhere.
Yeah,
I actually feel the people there stop me, and then I come back again.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I didn't mean to say get rid of them. I meant to say blur them a little bit.
Oh, okay.
just to make her more the story and people walking away less of the image. Just blur them 20% or whatever. You know they're people, but not as distinct. That's all.
Right. But
do you think she bought those shoes to match her jacket?
I think so.
I like her green gloves.
Yeah, those gloves are something else.
Yeah, I was wondering what are they for? What do you do with that?
Picking up poop.
Incredible Hulk.
Yep. Nice story. Nice shot.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Next one is going courting. And I want to know if is this Jim Williams? This was Sherry Halstead, and the score is 23.3. And at first, when I first pulled it up there, I'm like, there's a picture of Jimmy Williams in here.
That's fun.
Overall, there's some strong visual impact with this. This really pops at you and draws you in right away. I do feel his right shoulder is pretty hot in relation to the rest of the picture. And if you could tone the right shoulder, his right shoulder, on the left side of the image, but it's his right shoulder area. If you tone down that and then brought up the value of his jacket, now overall bring it up to make it pop out of the picture. But
He must be
dark,
dating
black clouds
Morticia.
are really dark. Yeah, they were all kind of running together there.
That's much better. You got a lot more detail in the flowers, and he's wearing white, and that side of him was close to the light, so he's very much more exposed on that shoulder than elsewhere. But evening it out like that made a big difference.
He's dating Morticia or Abby from NCIS.
But very, very engaging subject matter.
Well, I wondered, he's got a white glove on and a black glove on. That's just
that's his dark side and his good side.
Matches tie. Where was this? What kind of event was this? Whoever took it?
It was Sherry.
It's Sherry. It's me. Chasco Camera Club. We had a shoot.
Oh, okay.
And another model, a child model.
Gotcha.
And I was still in my walker when I did this, so it was sort of hard for me to get the pictures, all those other people around me. So that, I've got to keep from tripping over everybody. I agree with you about the shoulder. I think I did try to lower it some, and I kept on getting sort of a muddy white, so I left it. But you were able to do it too.
Oh yeah, we were right here. Yeah, just a little bit. Just take it down just a tad, and you're good. Let me go back to this one and reset it. Okay, this one is savoring the moment. This was Nona's image, and it's 23.5 is the score.
Sherry's asking for a score.
Oh, the score was 23.5.
Okay, thank you.
Or excuse me, 23.2. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. This one is Nona's, and the score on this one is, this is hard to read. There's so many guys, it's hard for me to read all these. It's Nona's is 23.5. Okay.
Right.
Give me a little more exposure on that. You can see the histogram, how far the histogram is over to the left. Just give me a little more exposure on that. I really, it's a, there.
Oh, yeah.
Big improvement. Thank you.
Yeah. Just a little bit more light. That's all it needed.
And Nona, why did you present it in such a low light environment?
I just thought that it looked better that way personally.
Okay. All right.
Because it was early in the morning and the light was low.
When you get all these little sparklies and stuff like that, you want to brighten all that up, because it really those really actually add to the picture, I think. It makes it look like it's early morning. The early morning light is bright if you think about it.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, that looks good.
Yep.
Nice shot.
Thanks.
Next one is Distorted Reality, and this is Jan's, and the score is 24.
What a wonderful architectural abstract that is, and the complementary colors, the pattern, the precision of the framing and cropping in the pattern is spot on.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, this is awesome. This is a
thank you so much.
Preview of what we're going to see from Angie McMonigal in August or July, August.
Yeah, love her work.
I'm curious to know, is that a reflection?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it was a reflection.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Next one is Utah from above, and that is my image. And the score is 23.6.
Lynn, just for my own edification here, and I know I'm using the word wrong, but I want to take out that cloud. I want to crop it down below the cloud.
Okay.
And
I'm with you, Robert.
I want to see those lines and those intricate details and tonalities and the hues.
I don't have to pay attention anymore. What's up, baby?
Hey, Jan, do you want to mute your microphone? Thanks.
Yeah, and those hues and those details in there. I did not need the cloud to pull me back.
I kind of went back and forth with it. I wasn't sure whether to leave it or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I agree with Robert. I really like that road that comes right up from the bottom through the middle that leads you up and into that. That's a great compositional element, and the cloud was just the one odd thing that didn't fit.
So guys, you can make good pictures from the airplane, and guess what I shot this with?
Cell phone.
My cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I never used to try to use my phone because they were always terrible. And this is going at 200 and some miles an hour. And look how sharp this is. It's astonishing to me. Just freaking astonishing. So I really wanted to put this in here more for you guys to see what you can do out of the window of an airplane than anything else. So.
And the fact that your window was clean.
Yeah.
Oh, help me! Help me, Lynn or Robert, to remember her name. Who's the woman from Adobe that does a lot of tutorials for Adobe?
Yeah,
and
I can see her face, and I can't think of her name.
I can't think of her name, but she did a whole wonderful series, and I think she published a book of all airplane window photos.
Starts with a J.
If you think about it, the astronauts took pictures out of the
Cost. Julian Cost.
Yeah,
Julianne Cost, yes,
yeah,
Julianne Cost did an amazing portfolio of work from airplane windows.
That's not really unusual.
Yeah, well, I have a whole gallery now with these because I started taking them a few years back with my iPhone 11, and they're not nearly as good as what's coming out of the iPhone 14 Pro Max now. This is, I was blown away by these images. It's just, for being from Florida, the snow was like, anyway. But to see the all the details and everything that the snow brought out in the scene, it was like, this wouldn't look, I don't think, nearly as good when it wasn't snowy. So.
Lynn, can I ask you something? You just shot that with the conventional lens, with the conventional program for the phone, or did you use one of the funky programs?
No, I used the native
camera.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. Moving on to the next one, which is The Bug. And The Bug is by Diana Cahill, and the score is 22.
Mm-hmm. Will you zoom in on the bug for me?
That's as far as it will go. Hold on a second. Let me go out. That's at 200.
Okay.
The buggy is not really
Yeah, I wanted you to confirm that for me because that's what it looked like. It looked soft.
Yeah, the buggy is a little soft.
Mm-hmm.
So if your subject is the bug, then the bug needs to be in focus.
So where is the focus?
Let's look.
Because it's behind the
focus is right here. Yeah, the focus is right there.
Yep. Which is one pedal in front of where the bug is.
Yeah.
two petals.
One of my criticisms about, Photoshop and Lightroom is, I don't know if any of you ever used the Aperture program that Apple had, the editing program. But one of the things that I used to love about that program is it showed you where you focused your camera, except, and especially for like a picture like this, when you're not sure, it put a dot where your camera focused.
Well, if you want software that does that, Capture One does that.
Yeah, but
Capture One will do that.
No, I don't have that, and I can't afford anymore. I
choose
not to.
Capture One is not cheap, but Capture One does exactly what you're talking about.
So, what you want to give me a Christmas present?
If the bug had been in focus, do you think that there's too much picture here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Cropped it way in.
If the bug is the main subject,
you could bring it. You could extend that crop more to the left again. It doesn't. I don't think it needs to be that tight on it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could even go more, because that still puts the bug kind of bullseye and dead center, which I feel is a little awkward. You could extend. Well, yeah, you could do that.
Or if the bug
I still like.
Yeah.
Pull that all the way out, and pull it out past just past the other flower. Yeah, I personally feel that, as a composition, that looks good, and I would have really liked this crop with the bug sharp.
Yeah. If the bug is your subject, then you need to make it bigger in the frame. Next is Dead Tree Canyon, and this is Kelly's, and the score is 22.4.
I have a question. Is Dead Tree Canyon actually the official geographical name of the canyon? That's my question here. Or is Dead Tree Canyon a name the photographer made up for the image?
Because of the dead tree?
Yeah.
I don't know if
no, this is a serious question. It's not,
Is Kelly here? I don't know. I didn't see if Kelly was here. He may not be here.
Oh, okay.
I'll look it up.
but in any case, I do see that there's a dead tree, placed, in a correct place to place it in this composition, which is nice, but it really gets lost in the background.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any way you could save it.
Yep. Red Tree Canyon is in Red Rock Canyon National Park.
Not red, dead.
Dead Tree Canyon.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dead Tree. It's in Red Rock Canyon.
Okay.
Okay.
This doesn't look like Red Rock Canyon, though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
There's another one that says Dead Tree Canyon in the Blue Mountains. So there's a whole bunch of Dead Tree Canyon.
This is not Red Rock.
Blue Mountains in New South Wales.
Dead Tree Canyonlands National Park, Utah. Oh my God, they're all over the place.
You guys. Well, I'm just trying to figure out a way you could fix this, and the object's not working. I
don't think you can keep it with that wide of an angle.
I'm just trying.
You'd have to. You could do it with some precision curves.
Well, what I just did was I used color range for the color that was behind it and made that lighter. So then the tree stood out a little more. So
which is basically, like I say, if you went into Photoshop and did, as I said, precision curves, based on colors and luminosity, you could eventually get it, but it would take some work, but you could do it.
And what else about the rest of the picture?
That's the problem. I don't know whether that's the subject or it's the name.
Yeah. And what about the rest of the processing?
What about it?
Everything is dark. Everything to begin with in the original image. Thank you. The separation of elements was not there at all in the original image. Where you're going with this, Lynn, is a 1000% improvement.
Yeah, it was just way too dark. I mean, there, like you said, there is this part being dark was good because it separates it from the back part. But you could actually do a lot more with this.
You could do a lot with this image.
This has got a lot of possibilities. I mean, just doing something as simple as doing a little bit of
dodging and burning, and
dodging,
burning, some masking. You know, very.
I mean, this is really.
It would be an investment in time, but this image might be worth that investment in time to do that.
That little bit there just made some more, gave it a little more. Let me just look. Just little goofy things like this. It looks strange to start off with, but if you don't know that you did this, or somebody doesn't know that you did it, they never know that you were doing all this this stuff like that. So don't worry about what it looks like when you do it for yourself. It's what it looks like, to the viewer. I mean, there's just so much you could do with this image and make it, have some dimension. Kathy, I'm talking to you, girl. I know this is not your image, but
I think one of the best.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think one of the best lecturers we had was Colleen, where she talked about that. I mean, and I think about her and her lecture every time I have to do edit on that kind of stuff. And even on my birds and stuff, the dodging and burning to bring the feathers out. And I'm not no expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I always think about her and how much dimension you can add, relatively simply.
I mean, I just did that really quickly. I would be much more precise when I was doing this myself, but you could just take one look at this. We went from this,
to
this,
and
it definitely needs some more work. But this is a good starting point. And there's so much possibilities on this image because it's just a really cool scene. So. All right, moving on. We're almost there. We're getting there. This one is the tall ship. And this one is Lee's image. Speak, people.
It needs more contrast.
Yay. You nailed it.
Do it so you can see it.
It needs more than more contrast. It needs... The sails are going to be blown out if you increase contrast. It was blown out. It was blown out when it was first taken.
Yeah, looks like it was over. Yeah,
I don't think you can recover most of that.
Clarity pulls it up a little bit. That's a little better.
I find that dark strip at the top a little distracting. I don't know if that's a weather thing or clouds, but it's so linear that kind of draws my eye.
Lee, did you put a gradient up there or something? We still have Lee in the house? Must not have Lee in the house anymore. I can't answer that question, Sylvia, sorry.
Okay, no.
I mean,
you can tell it's really blown out because the flag looks like it's floating. There's no line holding that flag. That's blown out with the sky.
Yeah.
I have a question on it being dead center.
Yeah, it would have been better if he had it a little more off center. He needs more space in front of it because it's moving. Yeah, dead center is a little bad. So
and it looked like it was anchored.
Yeah, it's not with the sails up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they don't usually put the sails up when it's anchored.
Dragging the anchor.
Dragging the anchor through the harbor. Yeah. Yeah, just needed a little more in the front and a little less in the back, and it would have been a little less off center. But
to have more room, have room for it.
Needed room to sail.
That's another case for spot metering.
Yeah.
If you just needed those sails opened up a stop and a half, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
So quick question, because you brought that up again and I'm intrigued by it. So when you're spot metering it, you're obviously pointing to the lightest area. And then you get your histogram or your plus minus more on the minus side. Is that what you're
Well, you don't have to do that if you're spot metering.
If you spot meter, you know the camera wants to make everything zone 5. It wants to make it middle gray. So you have to open up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You have to test. Oh God, you have even $10,000 cameras. You have to test your camera to see how far you can push it. But when I had an Olympus camera, I did. I had one and 3/4 stops. So when I spot metered, I could open up 1 3/4 stops, and my whites were zone 8, and they had detail. I knew they were going to come out fine. Everything else falls in place. So if the sails are correct, the water will be correct, unless the sky might have been a lousy sky with the haze. That's tough. Yeah. But once you have your highlights or your mid-grays, everything pegged the way you want them, and you know they're going to come out right, everything else falls into place.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter where on that white, sorry, Lynn, I jumped on you. It doesn't matter where on the white.
It does to some extent. You want to put it on something where you can see detail from a distance.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Right here.
Metering pure white does you no good.
Yeah, right. That's why I was, okay. Thanks, Dom.
Dom, let me repeat back what I think you just said. You said I need to take my camera, I need to meter it, and then I need to figure out how many stops above.
Take a white shirt, a white dress shirt that's got detail in it. That it's a what do they call that material? Poplin or whatever. That it's a little a rougher material, and you have your buttons and so on. Put it on a hanger, bring it outside in bright sunlight. Stand back so you don't cast a shadow, and meter it, and take a shot, and then open up a half a stop or a third of a stop. Take a shot. Keep doing that till you go to about 2 stops overexposed, 2 1/3 stops overexposed, and then bring those into Photoshop, and you just look at it, blow it up, and look at it, and see which one has maintained detail. And the one that's maintained detail, that's your zone 8 for black and white. If you take a similar meter reading of something in that tone, you will open up a stop in 3/4, whatever it is, and you will have a perfect white, which means your blacks will fall into place. You can do the same thing. You should do the same thing with like black felt. Put black felt in shade, and you put white in sun. You put them next to each other. The black felt in a garage, let's say, where no sun is hitting it, and the white shirt on the outside of the garage where the sunlight is hitting it. Do central metering, matrix metering, whatever you want to do. Take the picture, and the black felt will come out gray, and the white shirt will come out gray.
Yeah.
Meter turns everything to
80% gray. 80% gray is where the camera wants to be.
Whether you spend $5,000 for a camera, 500 or 5,000, they all do exactly the same thing.
Okay. All right, we need to move on, guys.
The reason you need to test is because what you're seeing on the back of the camera on the LCD panel is based on the JPEG. If you're shooting RAW, you need to test how much more you can go beyond what the histogram is showing you in reality. That's why you do that.
Got it.
All right, moving on.
If you want, I can go through. I did a presentation on that. I can go through.
Okay. Hey, Dominic, can you send that to me?
Sure. $1.50. Just kidding.
Okay, next one is Hungry Brew. This is Jack's, and the score is 23.5.
Jack, was that at our place? Is Jack here?
I think Jack.
Yes, I was muted. Yeah, that's at the Rookery.
Oh, was that recently? I haven't been there in months.
Can you enlarge it to the eyeball of the mother?
That's the one in Curewood.
Yeah.
This poor mother has her babies have really poked her in the eye.
They have. Yeah, they beat the crap out of her.
She's been beat up all right.
I have some others with blood all over the beaks of the babies, and you wonder how they don't poke her eye out.
And the babies are. Let me go down to 100%. This is 200%. See, yeah, the mother's eye is definitely not in focus, and the babies are just on the edge of being not in focus. It's hard when you've got multiple animals and they're all moving around.
Yeah.
Like, where do you focus?
Now, is that normal behavior that they poke her like that, or is there?
Well, they're fighting for the food that she had in her mouth, and when they're doing that, they're all poking at her mouth, at her beak.
And see how
And,
pointed their beak are?
Yeah.
And they
I
are
just wanna-
frantic. And
Or they're not
frantic.
getting enough food.
Yeah. They're just, they're poking. She's sticking her beak down inside their mouths. And when she's doing that, they're going, and they're like jabbing her right in the face. I would not want to be a mother egret.
Well, I'd be snapping at some kids.
Yeah, this is a really cool behavioral shot, Jack.
Yeah.
It's just not in focus.
Okay.
Places, yeah. I mean, the eyes, like I said, this one's not in focus. This one's not in focus. That one's not in focus. And the mother's not in focus. So I'm not really sure where the focus is here. Did you see it, Jim, where the focus is?
No.
No.
I'm wondering if maybe and Jack would know the answer. If this is a crop and it's not a matter of focus or not in focus, but a loss of resolution from a tight crop.
No, that's not much of a crop at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really hard when you have a group like this to figure out where to focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're at 7.1, so.
Yeah, I can't tell you where I was focused because I don't remember. I was shooting like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was even trying to look right here, maybe, but not really.
But if you shot that at a F11, Lynn, you would get all that detail smushed into the.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough situation because of where they're at. Birds are in a nest, always a pain in the pain in the neck because there's so much around them. And actually, this is a pretty good nest because usually there's like sticks everywhere.
Yeah, you've got to make that compromise between depth of field to get to get all the birds in focus, which then again is going to also make the foliage more detailed. Or you try and keep the foliage blurred, and you risk losing focus on the birds.
So how high would you have gone, Jim, and taking the chance of maybe having to blur the background in another way?
I'm not familiar with the lens he was using. That's why when you have your lenses, you have to familiarize yourself with your lenses, and you will know that. But I could not look. I've never used that lens, so I couldn't answer that.
Well, it was my 400 millimeter lens. A zoom. It's a zoom.
Yeah, 100, 400.
Yeah.
With the teleconverter. Or just the lens?
Yes, with a 0.4 teleconverter.
1.4 teleconverter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could be a little bit of the loss in sharpness, maybe, as the teleconverter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Other than, did you darken up the leaves? Because it looks like they did. If you did, that was great because it makes the birds pop. Yeah.
I did do the dark in the background a little bit. Yeah. And blurred it a little bit too. The background.
Okay. Yeah. Next one is Pass Sahara by iPhone. This is Fong's. And the score on this one was 21.9.
What I find.
Is that sand in the air?
Yeah. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess it blew from the road there. Wow.
I saw the pixel dimensions of this. This is a high, this is a high resolution image as far as the number of pixels go. But it's got some pretty strong contrast halos around the people on the camels, especially the back two people of the camels and the camels' legs and stuff, and their feet are all cut off.
Yeah, it's very crunchy all over.
Zoom on the two back people on the two back people in the line there.
Oh,
see what I mean about see how severe those halos and artifacts are on that. And this was a very high resolution image in number of pixels. So, but that it really surprised me to see how full of artifacts that is.
Yeah, the iPhone sometimes if you with a processing in it, it will do that. I've had it happen to me, especially in really high contrast situations, which this is. So.
Yeah. So it's I know that's one of the things about iPhones. If you use the native camera, you can't stop the processing that's happening. But if you put Lightroom or something like that in the camera and don't use the native camera app, you can shoot RAW and get around that built-in Apple processing that goes on.
Well, you could shoot the newer iPhones in RAW as well, so that helps.
Would that event? That's what I was going to ask. Would
that
take
yeah, because then then it could have been processed a little easier. But yeah, this looks like it might have been shot in HEIC, which just really does a number on high contrast stuff. This one is end of career, and this is Tom's, and the score is 22.9.
Now, Tom is here. I did not get a sense that this marked something about an end of a career. It seemed like more of a romantic moment.
Hey, imagine your husband's getting out of the military after 25 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seemed more like a romantic moment rather than the end of a career.
You're going to spend time with him again. I actually think of the end of my military career as an awesome time where I'm moving on to my next thing. But I actually, that was a tongue-in-cheek title, right? Because this is his retirement ceremony, and boy, was his wife happy he was done with this shit. I mean, look at her. She's glowing.
She was tired of going from base to base.
She's glowing right there.
That you should have caught her when she was jumping up and down, Tom.
Yeah, he's about to pull 75, 80% salary for the rest of his life, and she's going to see him around the house. Yeah, this is a happy moment.
Yeah, but it'll be short-lived.
Yeah, well, he's going to get a job. I already know he's getting a job.
He's going to get a job.
Yeah, she wouldn't be so happy if he was just going to hang out at the house in his bathrobe.
Any other comments on the image, guys?
Yeah, I put this in here to draw fire because I wanted feedback, because it's not the kind of thing I normally do.
What kind of feedback were you looking for? Because I was very confused on the title.
Well,
okay.
Beyond the title, Robert, beyond the title, forget about the title. What about the image?
The image is not telling me much. I mean, I have a person in who is in uniform, and I have a civilian, and they're both looking at each other. So I'm not sure if they're getting married in a military environment. I just see that two people are being romantic, but I don't understand the purpose of the uniform and the flags in this instance. So I don't understand what's going on.
Then in that instance, the title makes sense. But what about the technique?
What technique?
Well, the technique of taking the picture. I think that's what Tom is looking for.
Composition.
Well, I'm not. The story is not enough. There's not enough information for the story for me.
Okay.
There are two people looking at each other and smiling. So that to me is no different than two people who are on the street smiling. The flags and the uniform does not match the context of the romantic look.
Jim?
I find the look in their eyes to be captivating in spite of all the technical flaws, like a flag growing out of the top of his head and all that. I don't, in this particular image, I just see the smile on her face, and I'm glad I saw the image.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between there, regardless of title or not title, just what I see captured within the frame, compositionally. And I know that, there's not much could probably be done about it, is that the flags growing out of the heads compositionally is awkward, but the look between the people, the emotion that's there is engaging. The timing of the capture with the emotion that's there, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I view it as a photojournalism shot. It's a good shot commemorating his retirement and his wife looking on. I think it would make a great image for the newspaper, but that's what it is, photojournalism.
I mean,
that's a good way to put it, Jack.
Yeah, Tom, I think if you had taken one step to the right, where their heads were intersecting with the open areas, would have been just slightly better.
Well, although then you would have had the white flag right in between them, breaking the look between their eyes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Given the choice, this is better.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, for sure. But you could
you can get rid of that blue flag.
Yeah, you could get rid of the blue one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Now, if it were really in the context of photojournalism, no, you couldn't.
Yeah. Any questions?
Well, thanks. That's really helpful feedback. I also brightened his face, and I didn't know because there was a shadow on it. Now I'm glad to hear that that's not. Sometimes when I do that, I look at it, and I'm like, it's really obvious to me, but.
No, I did not. I did not see that. So I would say you were successful in that because what you intended to accomplish by lightening his face worked. Yep. Because we didn't see a problem and say, "Oh, you should have lightened his face." It looks normal, I would have never gone there or even thought that was done.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great, and thanks for the feedback. I appreciate it. This was a retirement on post, and let me tell you, they did not consult with me before they set up the stage. You should have seen how terrible it was. And then for Dom,
with the flags farther apart.
For
Dom, a great moment.
The admiral that retired him was wearing his dress whites. So I had this guy in his blues and the admiral in his dress whites, and it was mixed. And when you're mixed old fluorescent lighting with a flash, and it was just
when you're doing event photography, you are severely limited in
what you can do
in what you have to work with.
All right, Jess. Moving on. Sunset and Iceberg. This is Lee Wins. And the score is 24.3.
Nice.
This is beautiful.
Very nice.
Need someone to carry your luggage, maybe.
This definitely looks like like it could be an advertisement for a vacation tour to a cold place.
I just want, hey, Lee Win, I just wanted you to put a polar bear like right here.
Yeah.
With a bottle of Coke in his hand.
Right behind it. No polar bear.
Where was this taken, Lewin?
Baffin Island in Canada.
Okay.
Very nice.
Above the Arctic Circle.
Yeah. Jeez.
Plenty.
Like any of the Aurora Borealis with the CME that came was what last week before. No,
it was only a few hours darkness, so it's not dark right now.
Yeah, this is summertime.
Yeah, but no, they were saying that we should be able to see them like even down to Denver.
I saw that also. Whoever said that, Leslie.
Victoria.
Victoria. I saw that also. Because I was like, oh my God, maybe it'll even get to Tampa.
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen because we'll never get.
Depends on the location. Yeah. If it was March, yes, but this was April. So.
Too late now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
nice
this is
shot.
Beautiful, Lee Win.
Thank you.
Was that in a cruise from a cruise boat or what, Lynn?
No, it's on a slow mobile.
Oh, okay. Wow, I need you to be my travel agent.
Yeah.
Next one is Concord Outside. This is Helga's, and the score is 23.5. We're almost there, guys. Let's move it along.
Very striking.
Very, very striking. Right? The thing that distracts me from how great everything else is the fact that I know this was a controlled shoot. Why did nobody understand that the dog's collar was on upside down?
Made in Spain upside down.
I keep looking at that and that distracts me so much.
Yeah. And his
eyes, purpose. They wanted it like that.
Yeah. His eyes are not in focus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
It's not just, it's the back quality on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why so much background. I mean, the picture is a dog. I don't see what that adds.
He's a dog in his field.
Yeah.
Well, now I do have a question as far as that goes. You were saying when you cannot see the feet, there has to be enough room on the bottom to imagine that the feet are there. So is that a problem right in this one?
I think so, Leslie.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like he's chopped off he looks like he's a lot shorter than he is. like he's
So
a
would
dachshund.
You need more grass or less grass?
More grass
to
emphasize where his feet would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Cropping is I swear I keep asking you guys for a cropping class.
You're getting it picture by picture as we go.
I know that painfully.
The next one is this Concord, and he's inside now, evidently.
And still nobody fixed his collar, even in the studio.
And 23. This was 23.7.
You know, I love this picture. I love this.
Yeah.
I do too.
This guy has the craziest ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the expression is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
and the
that
collar is still upside
like
down.
It's like that so he can read
it. Really bothers me.
Yeah.
Can you tell it bothers me?
Yeah.
Well, the owner wanted it like this. They said that's their quirky personality. It was on purpose. So, I pointed it out and they're like, oh, that's how we are. We are upside down.
So you shot this for somebody else, Helga?
Yeah, that's a paid shoot.
Oh my gosh. And they wanted it upside down?
Yeah. Because
they're quirky. Okay, they're quirky. There you have it.
The client's always right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what I said. I'm like, you don't want to turn it around? No, that's how we are.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the shoot for?
They wanted portraits of their dogs. They have 10 greyhounds, and they have 2 Potencos and 8 greyhounds. So we're doing one after the other.
I'm telling you, Helga, I'm going to tag along one day.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, let's get it. We're almost there. This one is Silver Swan Sprucing Up. And this one is Natalie's. This is Natalie's shot, and the score is 22.8.
You missed mine.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Missed one. How did I do that? Where did it go?
Where did you miss one? I don't see.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, there's
That's the next one.
Kathy's is supposed to be in there. Oh,
It's
where did it
back
go?
2 more.
It's here.
No, it's back 2 more.
Oh, wait.
Back 2 more after Luann's. Yeah, next one.
We looked at that one.
We looked at
Okay,
that.
what's that one?
We looked
That's
at
the
that
dog.
one.
Okay.
What happened? Why isn't it there?
Okay, here's one. Here it is. Right here. Got out of order somehow.
That's not mine.
What, this one?
The one with the little girl running. It shows it right there.
Right here?
No,
Oh,
over on the other side. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're not
We
there
haven't
yet.
gotten there yet.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. Okay.
So
Okay, so this one is actually, this one belongs right here.
Oh, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to keep it in order for the score sheet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, this one's Kathy's. This is Osprey's approach for landing, and the score is 22.4.
I'm looking at a swan.
That's a swan.
There's the Osprey.
Yeah, Osprey. All right. Approach for landing.
This one is looks like it was cropped. Is that right, Kathy? Did we lose Kathy?
Yeah, it was somewhat.
Yeah, so because it's if you look at the eye, it's not in focus. It looks yeah.
It looks like there's processing going on that's obliterated detail.
Yeah.
Zoom, click back in like you just did. See, look at especially look under the bird's wing above the leg. Right. Go, that whole area there. It looks like somewhere in processing, something, noise reduction or something. I don't know what. Something softened this image up and obliterated some detail out of it.
Yeah, I don't know what would have done that. I don't think I put that one through Topaz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something happened to it.
Happened to it. Yeah, it was like, whoa, this is not a Kathy image.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Something going on here. I mean, even the tree looks a little weird.
If you use Topaz, always where it says detail, uncheck it.
Yeah.
Because it makes a mess of your image.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wasn't using it at the time that I did this one, so yeah, I'll
Maybe
have
go
to
back to your
look
steps
at it.
and
Go back and look at
backtrack.
it and just see, what the original. Go back and click back in at the original and see how, if there's something going on, and then what steps you use to get there and see what happened here, because it's a great.
I know it was in focus, or at least it showed on my screen that it was in focus. So
but it's a great action shot. Just it's just the processing's has messed it up somehow.
Okay.
This one is Silver Swan sprucing up. Another one of those hard ones to say. This one's Natalie's, and the score is 22.8.
Mm-hmm. Natalie, I have a composition problem with this image.
Okay.
I'm showing just that portion cutting off the back end. I saw an image that was like this earlier that was cutting off the back end like so, and that vertical format, and I'm left with in my humble opinion, a weak composition on this.
Okay.
So
I enjoy the rings in the water
like this. Does that help?
You're cutting out the rings now.
Yeah, I would bring it back down because I agree. I do enjoy the rings in the water as part of the composition. I would have liked to seen just a little bit more of the bird on the right hand side of the frame. It looks awkwardly cut where it's at.
That's what my problem is.
That's what Robert has the issue with, and I agree with that.
It's kind of like chopping him off at the neck.
Literally.
Yeah, just barely. So yeah.
Okay, so here's my other request for cropping lessons. I'm not going to give it up until you guys give in to me.
Do a general lesson in cropping is specific for every photo. I don't know.
Exactly.
I know, but just kind of a general, like, don't cut the feet off or don't cut half of the foot off.
On this one, I didn't actually crop it at all. It's more the editing on the front side of it from the lens.
That's just the way it was shot.
You photographed it in a vertical format.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like for you to practice working in a horizontal format.
Okay.
And then cropping the left and right side.
Shooting for it, like everybody shoots for their Instagram with with the phone and in the vertical and us photographers that use our cameras all the time, we have a tendency to shoot the other way. We shoot too many landscape shots. We should, and we need to switch around and use the vertical more often as well. So you just kind of have to think, actually, Nellie, shoot both ways. Shoot it vertical and then immediately shoot it horizontal. Okay. And that way you've got choices. And because that's the big question is when for the us photographer guys with our big cameras, the question is when do you shoot a vertical, and it's always right after you shoot a horizontal. That's because then you have an option of, and I do that a lot. I probably shoot more verticals than most people with the cameras that I have, but because for that very reason, and I'm surprised how many times I end up using the vertical, and with a proper crop on it. So just try doing both, and that way you'll get a lot more. I think you'll get a lot more pictures that you like.
Okay.
This one is Up and Over, and this one is Valerie's, and its score is 23.3.
Go Valerie.
Yeah, it's just a little bright.
Yep. Perfect timing on the shot.
Yep.
Is that a single shot or part of a high-speed burst series?
Valerie, you here?
Yeah, my internet's messing up. What was the score again?
23.3. Okay. And all I did with it is I gave it just a tiny little bit of warmth. And I took the highlights down, so it was a little too bright. See how bright it is? And I just made a little bit of adjustment to it. Anything else, guys?
No, I just my question was the timing is the timing's perfect on that, and my question was that a single shot timed for that, or is that part of a high speed burst series?
It's a series.
Yeah.
It's picked from a series. Well, that's good to do that.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's why, because it gives you the flexibility to pull just the right shot out of the series.
And she's shooting at 1/1000th of a second, which was plenty fast enough. Yeah.
Yep. Good job.
Yep. That's with these actions like that. That's just kind of like a flying bird. You got to take a lot of shots to get the one you need. Next one is Celestial Wave, and this is Dominic's, and the score is 23.5.
I like the abstract quality of this. It looks like a bunch of it looks like it was painted with a big brush with brush strokes on a palette.
Yeah. Robert?
I want a little more black on the left for balance. Just a little bit more.
A little bit more black on the extreme
left.
Yeah.
Well, the idea was, and I did lighten that up slightly to like zone 8, 9, was I wanted that to appear as the foam or the lead edge of a wave hitting the shore. That's why that's why it has that intensity. Rather than extending those black streaks into the
no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about space on the left.
Oh, I cropped it because I thought there was too much dark space. It didn't.
Oh no, sir. No, sir. You got a heavy amount of white and you got a little strip of black, and I think that you're just slightly off balance.
All right.
Okay, yeah, this side is really like heavy.
Yeah, very heavy.
All right, I'll go back and recrop it,
And now I'll tell you, I'll give you the reason why. If you look at the where the white ends on the this closer to the left hand side, where that white end, it's just a little too close to that edge there.
Yeah.
I was not looking at that. I was looking more at the wider area, but that's a good suggestion. I can go back and
it's got to have some room for the wave to go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, here was what I was.
I demand a class on cropping. Yeah,
I was thinking.
Yay!
What did it look like? You're talking about a wave.
I too demand a class on cropping.
I tried it in every position, and I didn't like any of them other than right to left.
Go the other way with it, Lynn.
Oops.
Keep going.
No, I didn't like that.
I didn't like it that way.
It looked too much like a geyser.
Yeah, that's what
I would have to be above the water to take that shot if it was water.
It's also kind of like when you see those giant waves that that hit the jetty and and then shoot 50 feet up into the air.
Yeah. I like the right to left.
We can design that cropping class for you. We can just say, okay, crop animals, cropping humans, cropping trees.
I'll remove my crop. And I will.
See, it's actually in this gray background, it's much more apparent that it's too close than it was on that black background.
We need to keep going.
You couldn't really see it. Yeah. Here you can see it.
But I'm working in Photoshop with that middle gray background, so I should have. Well, I shouldn't say I should have known better. I thought this was the correct crop, but I'll look at it again originally and see how it's me. All right, but thank you.
Nice face right here. I'm getting tired. Okay, this one is Fun in the Sun. This is Lourdes's image, and the score is 22.4.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys, it's getting late. Fuck.
I mean, it's a cute shot. It's just not a compelling shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. Obviously it's taken the shadow where the sun is up here.
Yeah, it's not so much that. It's just the shot is it's not doing anything other than a shot of a baby coming out of the water. So, it's just not compelling enough for me.
Yeah, crop it almost square for me, Lynn. It feels off balance. Just pull it in from the left, to almost to the shadow. Yeah, there you go.
It's a little better.
It feels more balanced.
Yeah.
As far as where the elements are in the composition.
It's a little bright, and it would have been better if she was looking right at the camera. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's basically looking at somebody off to the right. And
better show where she's looking at.
Yeah. Probably her mother.
Yeah.
Say, get the heck out of the water. Yeah. So, all right. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. This one is Zach. Zach at the farmer's market. And this is Richards. And the score is 22.6.
Yeah, I think we're going to see here the kind of the reverse of some of the things we see with one picture versus the other. This one, I think the placement of the truck behind him, especially with that sticker in the window coming into the side of his head and stuff, is the other side. Yeah, there. That's a little. That's a little awkward compositionally. A little step to the right. I don't know if that would have helped because it looks like there's more stickers in the windshield of the truck. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the truck was important to be in this photograph of the man.
Yeah,
That's why I don't understand the importance of the truck.
Because
It might have been like a grab shot.
he's there and he's sitting on his truck. He's selling corn.
I think that's what's missing.
Which we don't see in the picture. Yeah, so that this picture, yeah, like you say, the way this image is cropped, that story is all gone, and it just appears like there's a man with a truck behind him. It sounds like the interesting part of the story is not in the photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're missing context.
Yeah.
He's getting
interesting. Yeah, the context of why the truck. You just explained the context of the truck, but we don't see but the viewer doesn't get that context in what they see in the picture.
Yeah.
Does he have
the context has been removed.
Looks like he only has one eye.
No, he has two
Maybe.
eyes.
Yeah, but maybe he only sees that at one.
Yeah,
it looks like it.
He had two eyes.
It looks grayed out. It looks grayed out.
Like cataracts or something.
Yeah, he might have cataracts or something.
Yeah.
But Richard, on this shot right here, you mentioned something. Zach, who is Zach to you?
Actually, it's a name I made up because the last time you said I'd show a picture of a fisherman, and you said if you gave him the name Joe the Fisherman, this would have made sense to me. So here he is. Zach. I made this up.
That's great. I love that. I love that answer.
I thought I shot this because I thought he had a fantastically interesting face, and that's what I'm looking for.
He does.
He does have that. I do not take away from that.
Yeah, and yeah, changing angles or asking him to shift position or something could have done well with that.
Yeah, so like I'm looking at like this background. Whoops, I'm going to reset this. If he had looked at you if he had turned his head to his right and you were standing over to the left, you probably would have had this green behind him and not the truck. So,
or at least not that bright pink,
bright red sticker. Yeah,
that really.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about the sticker.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, and then like you said, if you had moved over here, then you would have had this angel wing thing.
Flying his hat.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But then
there's another sticker up in the corner of the windshield behind his hat that would have come into play. Yeah.
So, but when we come to this one.
What a difference.
Yeah, this one is also Richards, and this one's called Father and Son, and the score is 23.4.
Yeah, very much better. Very much better.
Lighting is really nice on that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Can I
really.
see the full thing? Full size?
Yeah, this one is, yeah.
Full size, Lynn.
Full size, Lynn. Full screen.
Size. Sorry, can't hear.
Very nice.
And who are these people to you?
Well, I have a bad habit when in fact, with another club, we went off to photograph manatees, and I ended up shooting only people.
Good for you.
This was a trip to a dairy farm, and while people were taking pictures of cows, I was watching the people, and I thought this worked out nice. First of all, because the boy is very attached to the father. Obviously, I like the way the white bars behind crossed right at him. Compositionally, I like that. I like the way the light was coming across.
Yeah.
Speaking of cropping,
no, that's great that you find what appeals to you artistically where you're at, and work with what appeals to you artistically. But a bunch of these guys in this group can tell you they drag me along to shoot birds all the time, and I end up shooting every damn thing except birds.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I just sold my bird lens. I got rid of it.
Hey, we used your bird lens 2 weeks ago, by the way. My cousin and I, we went out to the Channel Islands for the foxes and the birds, and we had a great time.
Right. Oh. This club is a valuable resource because I found a customer for my lens.
Anything, Robert? Right?
In this
on this shot? Yeah, this shot is on point.
Yeah.
In this picture, how he's looking, how you can tell, you see that he loves his dad and everything. And I think it's cool that it says American made on his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got 3 more guys and we'll be done.
All right, take that person in the background and take him out.
This is called Run and Jump. This is Valerie's, and his score is 22.
Pull it up from the bottom.
Oh, wait, one thing at a time, guys.
Yeah, don't need all that dirt. There you go.
Really? Wow.
There you go. Much better.
And the other thing I'm going to take out is the little orange cone that's driving me crazy over here. And the little piece of white paper.
Yeah, there you go. That one.
There we go. And then I'm going to make the green greener and the blue bluer. And I'm going to make brighter.
She in focus?
Moving.
Would that have been better shot at a lower angle?
It is in focus.
Yeah. Depending on what the background is, I don't know. One step to the left would have been a better angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then the trees would have been here behind her.
Yeah, she wouldn't be so close to that building that juts out from right behind her hand and her hair. You would have more of that greenery, as a background behind her if the position had been one step to the left.
And this is a hard shot to make because she's coming right at her.
Right.
To get it in focus. So
on the other side. And they were all doing sports, and so I was trying to keep the other kids out of the shot. So, and I did take out the pole. There was a pole there too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see if
you did a good job with the pole, because I would have never known there was a pole there. So you did a good job with that.
Just get rid of the people. If you're subject, again, remember the people, our eye is drawn to people. So even though she's your main person, we're going to go look at that other person as well. And if they're not important, then get them out of there. We'll move them out. So yeah, cool action shot as well.
Great action shot.
Yeah. This one is Diana's. It's a cautious approach. The score is 22.7.
Wow. Yuck.
This is got some weird stuff going on, Diana. I don't know what the heck you did to it. It's very crunchy. Guys?
I also think like crouching down to get a little bit more up angle to not have its nose intersecting with the tree line.
Yeah.
Yeah, get right in front of it, Diana.
Yeah.
Jumps on you.
Make yourself turn yourself into easy prey.
We got a whole new series of shots then.
I do enjoy the tension that's about to happen with it coming down, but I am concerned about the crunchiness in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know where it came from.
I'm concerned about the number of leopard photos that she shows up with, because I don't know where she got all these leopards.
Okay, guys, wait a minute. So
a lot of leopards.
That's from my trip to Africa. Then could that have been caused by topaz?
How many?
Yes.
Yes.
Very definitely.
Okay, so Lynn, tomorrow, can I send you the original?
Okay.
Would you be able to diagnose it?
I can look at it and see if I can see what's going on. Yeah.
There was a lot of work on this.
Right here, there's like a brown dark spot right there as well. I don't know what the heck's going on here.
Well, that's because there were all sorts of yucky stuff behind it.
Okay. Yeah, send me the original. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, cool. And I would love to hear how you would have edited it.
Caught him at I assume you're in a safari truck.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why you can't get any lower.
That's why you couldn't crouch down. Yeah.
Yes. And he was
self-preservation.
Well, I think had you gotten out of the truck and then got right below on the tree and looked straight up, it would have been a much more dramatic shot.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be here showing it.
Been our last shot.
But you would give you the score though, and it would be pretty high.
Oh, lovely! Thank you. You'd send it via heaven mail, or
yes,
heaven mail. Heaven mail. Let me ask you.
Diana, you wouldn't have had to crop it.
There you go.
Let me ask you this, Diana. We're always looking for the decisive moment. I would assume that he was higher up in the tree because obviously he wasn't standing on a vertical branch. So could you have caught him when he was a little further up the tree?
I have a bunch of shots, Lynn.
Yeah.
It's a whole series of shots. But the problem is you guys have freaked me out with intersections and with, I'm telling you that there are like 5,000 heads, voices in my head when I look at these pictures, because I had more compelling shots, and there will be one more entered in the next month.
Yeah.
Where I captured him doing something else. But I swear, and it's also where the trees are behind him and how much work I want to put into removing them. And, and if you leave them, then, the tree is behind him and it looks like it's just,
you know what, the one you like best.
And all right. Last but not least, and it is 10:07. We're done. This one is Screwed Again. And this is Barry's image, and it was 23.1.
Barry, this is really cool and a humorous title and nice. I'll give you a little bit of technical advice when you're shooting reflective glass like this. If you can get a hold of black curtains and then poke your lens through the black curtains, then your camera doesn't reflect in the bottle.
Right. Yeah. Good idea.
See it right there.
It's definitely a studio type shot. And I do not have a studio. And what bothers me the most is the texture.
Even if you just get you can even just get like a cheap black plastic shower curtain and, cut a slit in it and, and poke your lens through it and, hang it up and do something like that. Do something like that in your house if you're shooting in your house.
The wall behind me was a door, and I actually hung a blanket over the door to get rid of that. But you can still see the molding in the corner and stuff like that. It's much better than it was.
Yeah.
What bothers me the most is I really did not want the texture in the wall behind it. I wanted a plain gray, and I thought I couldn't get it because it did have texture. I thought I could remove it in post, and then I couldn't get enough of it out in post. But
maybe do your background first and composite it and get it smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, this does not look like it would be hard to composite onto a different background at all.
No, you could cut this out pretty quickly. What I do love the lighting on this corkscrew. It just the lighting is just, to me, it's all about the corkscrew.
Yeah, and Lynn is right. The light on the corkscrew is well done.
Yeah, I actually was standing. It was a window behind me, and I was kind of standing, and I took like 6 or 7 different shots. And if I moved just a fraction of an inch, the lighting would change totally.
Yeah.
So I literally moved and took and moved and shot and moved and shot and moved and shot. And this one looked the best. So.
That's the way you do it.
That corkscrew has his hands up in desperation. Yeah, screw bottle because it's a screw top.
I know it matches with the it matches well with the title where that thing like you say, it almost looks like a person throwing their hands up in the air.
Well, this was inspired by a Facebook picture I saw of something called a spork, and it was like a spoon sitting at a table with 2 forks kind of looking like hands sitting on the table. I thought, I can, and I don't want to copy that picture. I want to do something like it that personifies some utensil. And this whole almost completed composition came into my mind. And it took me a couple hours to realize what I was seeing in my mind. So I already had this pre-visualized.
But that is great to pre-visualize something and then work it out. Yep, well done.
I'm getting better at it. Yeah, you guys help a lot, and I vote for a cropping class too.
Well, hold on. If you vote for a cropping class, then do me one favor: crop this thing from the bottom up to just to the point where the corkscrew intersects. Leave the hand. Yeah, come up just slightly more. And come down, come back down, come back down, come back down, come back down to where they intersect. All right, go there. Go full screen to me. And that's more what I see there.
Yeah, actually, because it's true, because the wording on the label again is distracting from this awesome corkscrew.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. See.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is better.
Yeah. Again, remember wording those things. People, wording, man-made. When you're, and even if wording is going to distract from even something that's man-made, because that comes third.
And if another tip for shooting something like this is you have to shop around for them, but there are wine bottles that are matte black and not smooth black. There are matte black wine bottles.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I actually had a client that had something I had to sell for them, and they were smart enough to even know that. They said you need to get a matte black bottle, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Well, guys, we got them all done. My God, 77 images. Woohoo!
Great job,
everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome.